Alright, hello. Does this sound normal to people, or... Hi, hello. I realized apparently I googled around a bit, I watched some YouTube videos. If I have the stupid, like, preview window with the audio, unmuted, then, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, if I have it unmuted, apparently it's all weird. Do I sound normal? There's no echo, there's no, like, 16 different Hakims, everything sounds fine. I'm gonna write it in chat just in case, because I'm that paranoid. Does everything sound normal? Please, God. Okay, thank God, okay. Oh, my lord. Okay, yeah, immediately, I feel much better. Hello, everybody. This is actually a bit early. This is 30 minutes early, but I always feel, you know, kind of scared about this stuff because, like, I start streaming and I'm always afraid either the stream won't work or there'll be echo or some bullshit, right? So, yeah, I'm very sorry about that. Okay, now the chat is fucking going insane. You guys are going by way too quick. I can't read any of this. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. I get it. Everything works perfect. All right, so I'm gonna just announce it really quickly. Like on Twitter and whatnot, that everything works, and then oh, thank you. Suck said, no, you don't sound normal, you sound amazing. You're very sweet, Habibi. Yeah, I almost got ended. That's how it goes with these fucking streams. Let me just announce, and that'll be all good. Just give me a sec. All right, let's see. Dame yo. Fuck, I need to get the stream link, don't I? Please give me a stream link. I'm not asking for much. Oh, for the love of God, how the fuck do I do this now? Like, okay. I'm still live? Alright, I'm still live, perfect. Get shareable link. You guys are now hearing a running commentary of the fucking voices in my head. So give me a sec. I'm gonna delete this old one. Delete this old tweet. New tweet. Live now. Okay, let me just pin this. Apologies. I'm not very good with the streaming nonsense, so, you know how it is. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Now we can actually start. I can be a decent human being and properly introduce this. Hello, everybody. It's Hakim, your boy. This is my first stream, I guess, and yeah, I haven't done this before, so excuse the supreme awkwardness that's gonna come with this. Oh lord. Okay, so everything works, chat works, the audio's fine, I hope. If there's any issues, then just let me know in the chat. I'm not too quiet or too loud, right? Because then let me know and I can make it quieter or louder just directly here. I'm just waiting for the messages to come in. Hey, don't tread on us, road. Love from Peru. Love from Iraq, habibi. Can we revive Mao Zedong via Juche necromancy? Yeah. I've had some, what's it called? Silly ideas about doing something, like maybe I play a game or something. Just to like have something more interesting than just a waveform my voice. But yeah, so that's cool, I guess. Maybe I'll do that someday, but not today. Alright, perfect. Everybody says volume is fine. Scream as loud as possible to check. I'm not going to do that. I'm kinder to your ears than that. Perfect, okay. I'm going to make it just a smidge louder. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So, hello everybody. It's Hakim. It's your boy. Thank you for 100k subs. I'm very good with... I'm very bad with, you know, having any sort of what's called milestones in my life. Get like when I got my diploma, when I started work, all that kind of stuff. It was always just like a matter of fact thing. So I'm very bad with this sort of stuff. But do know that it really does mean quite a lot to me. It's very close to my heart that people actually give a shit and watch my nonsense. And yeah, I'm very, very thankful for all of it. Hopefully the YouTube overlords decide that I could get a fucking play button, so I can just have it in the corner of my room or some stupid shit just for the memes. Like in all honesty though, it would be in a closet. I would never fucking display that garbage. But it'd be neat to have, just so I can have a picture put on Twitter and just be like, hey, thank you everybody, and then never look at it again. But yeah. Oh, somebody sent me a super chat. Wow. Thank you very much. Beats by Null. Can you speak on Huey P. Newton's theory of intercommunalism? It is extension of ML or something else entirely. Right out with the questions. I'm sorry, but I have not read too much about intercommunalism. At least the little that I've read might be wrong. So it might be unfair to give you an incorrect answer. But to my understanding, it's... Actually, no, I'm not even going to comment on it because I'm not certain if it's right or not. I'm so sorry that I can't answer that question. So it's a Hakim first. I'm kidding. There's a lot I don't know. And that is definitely one of them. I've been meaning to read a lot more about the Black Panthers, and particularly UEP Newt. I've read only like one or two things that are relevant. So that will be definitely coming. But yeah. What have I done today? How are you guys? Everything, I hope, is fine. Life has been okay over here. I am overworked, as you may expect, so I'm a bit tired. I'm also a little bit feverish, so excuse me if I'm a bit loopy when I talk. But yeah. Somebody said, should we eliminate Canada? Maybe. No, I'm kidding. But there should be rights for the indigenous. Definitely way more than what exists now, but that's just a side point. Yeah. Sorry, I'm very new to this, so I don't know. Should I just talk shit, or should I like look at the chat and see what people ask, or yeah. How about this? I can tell you a bit about my day. I worked. I came back. I made some food. I made some pasta. Made myself a red pesto sauce. That was fun to do. Cooking is very near and dear to my heart as well. So if maybe one day, maybe a Patreon special video, I'm just gonna do like a recipes or some shit. That's an idea I play around with, maybe one day. But yeah, somebody asked how's the internet infrastructure in Iraq. It's garbage. It's fucking dog shit. Unsurprisingly. Why do you think I never stream? But yeah, I'm paying an exorbitant amount of money for this semi-decent what's it called, internet connection. So that's that. But Inconspicuous Minnesotan, thank you for the $5. He asked, Comrade Hakim, what is your opinion on the rise of new fascism in the West and especially America? Well, that's kind of what happens during periods of increased class conflict, right? When the contradictions of capitalism are intensified, you naturally have a radicalization of politics on both sides of the spectrum. So usually you have a rise of the left, but also you have a rise of the right. And guess who the liberals and those to the right of them support? They don't support the left, of course. They support the far right, and that's why those people get the funding and have their marches where cops, high five them and protect them and all that kind of stuff. So that's what you can expect. It's nothing that is new, but also it should be concerning because every fascist is basically a failure of the left to radicalize somebody that would have been susceptible otherwise to radicalization. So that's kind of on us, the very fact that this phenomenon is even happening on such a wide scale. You have a lot of white young men, particularly in the West, who feel like alienated, of course, and they might find a sense of community and belonging and all that bullshit in far-right groups. And that's kind of a failing on our part for not actually, capitalizing on that and trying to give them appropriate analysis of the world that we live in and push that energy that they have in a productive direction. So that's just kind of my opinion on that. Somebody asked me if I exercise regularly. Yes, I do. It used to be 4 times a week, but now I think it's 2 to 3, depending, because I come home very tired from work, so it really depends. But yeah, I try to definitely exercise as much as I can. Electric Raisin said, so only donation questions get read? No, I'm going to read as many questions as I can, but knowing myself, all my fucking, what's it called? All my answers take like 20 minutes to get out, so. But yeah. Somebody said something else. Oh, how unpleasant. There's somebody who's writing on anti-Semitic bullshit in the thing. Whoever wants to be a mod, then just like write it right now, and I'm gonna just pick a couple of people so it can be taken care of. Illinois, I'm assuming, ILL. State Fishing said he sent for $5. Thank you very much. He said, congratulations, Hakim, now to 1 million. Yeah, inshallah, maybe. But yeah. Hold on. Whoever wants to be a mod, just let me know, and I'm gonna... Okay, I'm just waiting. Okay, Rene Descartes. Maybe you can be a... I'll make you as a mod. There you go. So there's one. Fuck it. It goes by so fast. Luca, who said Smrt fascism sloboda narodu, which is exactly what I want to hear. So you're gonna become a mod. You're a mod. Everybody becomes a mod. So Daniel McCuster, sure thing. Here you go if you want. I think 3 mods are enough. Alright, so a couple of people asked me a couple of questions, so but sorry, the chat went by too quickly, so I don't remember your name. Oh, Jesus Christ, it goes by so quickly. One person asked me, what kind of doctor am I? I'm in residency, so I'm not a specialized doctor yet. I am in, what's it called? General medicine, I believe, is the closest, like, English equivalent. What this basically means is, it's, yeah, well, general medicine. And I do rotations between different, what's it called, departments. And that's just basically my life. Eventually, I'm hoping to get a specialization position. And once I get a specialization position, I'm gonna, you know, probably specialize in either general, as a general practitioner, GP, or as... maybe an internist, but I'm not so sure about internal medicine. I like gastroenterology, but it's also, there's some like complications in that route. It depends really. Yeah. There's a couple other places, things. I like obstetrics. I like radiology. So it depends. I'll keep you updated. A couple of people asked me other questions, but they went by so quickly. I'm so sorry. But don't worry. Like once I see them, I try to answer them as quick as I can. But the chat does go by quickly. Maybe there's a way to make it slower or something, and I'm just stupid. Yeah, Brewski McKilgore sent $5. Thank you very much for the $5. He said, Assalamu alaikum akhi wa alaikum assalam. He said, what do you think of planning apparatuses of corporations like Walmart or Amazon? Those will be delicious for Poles, right? Yeah, very interesting. I made a video about it. It's the ECP one. But just generally, a lot of the infrastructure that would be necessary for a 21st century, you know, strategy for economic planning is it's pretty much already laid down by these large companies. They've done a lot of the work that we would. So basically, to quote Lenin, or as Lenin's supposed to have said, we don't really know if he said it, the capitalists will sell us the rope with which we will hang them. Oh God, cheese. Thank you very much. The mods are doing great work. Beautiful. Thank you. I don't know why anti-Semites get in here. And what do you get by just spamming one sentence? Don't you have better things to do with your fucking time? But yeah. Somebody... Kvantor wrote... Tut Ruski. No, I can read Cyrillic, but I don't speak it. At least not very well. I can say, yeah, Меня зовут Hakim. That's about it. Я коммунист. Can you do a video about how and why the USSR should reunite? How and why the USSR should reunite? The USSR most likely will not reunite, sadly, but how it would be through revolution. There's not any shortcut to it. Put slow mode. Yeah, if I knew how to, man. I'm sorry. I'm fucking... yeah, I'm not the best at this shit, as you have fucking noticed. Yeah. Hold on. Somebody sent some... Southern Comrade sent $10. Thank you very much. He said, congrats from your Negefi brother. Hey! I have family in Negef, so that's nice. I hope the fucking weather there isn't killing you nowadays. Jesus Christ. Yeah. If somebody can tell me, Sonia Al-Horegi wrote, can you turn on slow mode, please? If I knew how to, I would, honestly. Rafael Esteves sent Is that the Brazilian currency? I don't remember the name of it. Excuse me. Are they Brazilian reals? I'm not sure. But $2 of it. Thank you very much. He says, "What are your thoughts on Brazilian politics?" I guess it was the Brazilian one. Brazilian politics. Brazilian politics are a lot of fun to read about because they're it seems like a almost like a sitcom half the time, and the other time it seems like a horror movie. It's either really fucked up or just funny shit. But just generally, I'm not educated nearly enough. I've read a bit, but not nearly enough to feel qualified in commenting. So excuse me for that. Simon Cayley said, "Hey Hakim, was it a fake Hakim that popped up in Fellow Travelers chat yesterday?" Yes, it was. I was not there. I was. I know of Fellow Traveler, but I've never been to any of his streams. He actually wrote to me yesterday on Twitter, and I replied to him. I was like, "Yeah, that wasn't me. I don't know what he said. I tried to look, but I couldn't find anything." So that's that. And your bar was like, "Please don't be revisionist, Hakim." I hope to not be, but yeah. Hold on. Maybe somebody will let me know how slow mode fucking works. Wait, do you actually think that the weird right-wing people coming in just spamming anti-Semitic nonsense? I really hope that wasn't supposed to be like a quote-unquote organized thing, because that was very badly organized if it was. So yeah. Don't Tread on Us asked, "Hey Hakim, how is it that you speak English so well?" I get this question a lot. First of all, Electronic Raisin said, "Is Hakim single?" I am single, but I'm looking to get married, so get it while it's hot. I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm at the age where I should start thinking about it. But Don't Tread on Us asked, how is it that I speak English so well? I study English on a daily basis, and that sounds very strange to people who already speak English, so I'll explain a bit. Imagine you're learning Spanish, for example, or any other language. Let's just use Spanish. And every day you write something in Spanish, you read something in Spanish, and then you practice speaking Spanish. If you do that for 10 years, you're probably going to get at least decent at Spanish. That's basically what I did with English. Every day I try to write something down, like a paragraph or a little more, just like either my daily thoughts or just something just to keep it fresh. I try to speak English, and I engage with English media. Like I'll watch videos or whatnot. I'll read an article, etc., etc. It's gone to a point where I don't need to do that so much anymore, but that was what I did for a very long time. And a lot of people also ask me, "Oh, how do you practice? How did you get to speaking English with this accent?" This is an act. What you're hearing right now. This is very many hours of practicing phonemes. Basically, because Arabic pronunciation and stuff is very soft usually. So basically, what I would do is, sorry, I'm sitting very uncomfortably. I'm underneath my fucking bed. That's the only way I can get no echo. I'll explain that later. Arabic phonemes are very light, right? So it doesn't sound right when you speak English with an Arabic accent. So what I do is I try to practice pronunciation the way Native American speakers pronounce stuff. I always use the example of the word train. In Arabic, if you were to use a quote-unquote Arabic accent, it would be tren. If you would really say it like that, it would be very soft. But in English, you say train, like you bring it into the back of your mouth and you widen your mouth when you say the word. And that's an example of a sound that you need to practice. So that's just something stupid. But yeah, if people think that's funny or not. My new mod, Daniel McCusker, asked, I'd like to hear his thoughts on the Naxal movement. And also Soul TR. The Naxal movement is very interesting. For the uninitiated, it's a Maoist movement within the quote-unquote Red Corridor in India, in the eastern part of India, and what's it called? The general. Sorry, I'm trying to speak while reading, so I'm really trying to multitask here, reading the chat. The general gist of the movement is it is a quote-unquote people's war in the eastern part of India, and sadly it is on the decline from what I have read. But for quite a bit of time it was very good. They maintained the rights of peasants. They fight against the Indian military and paramilitary forces, etc., etc. So it was a good force for a long time, but right now, to my knowledge, they aren't as powerful or extensive, and they've been being kind of cornered into that small part of India. But they did good work for a long time, especially when it came to local agrarian reform stuff. SoulTR said, he said my name? Yes, SoulTR, I said your name, and you're my Habib, eternally. Let's see. People are asking, like, chilling under, Hakim, Chairman Bro said, Hakim chilling under his bed. Yeah, literally, the only way I can, record without having severe echo in my room is by basically having myself, there's like a 50 centimeter clearance underneath my bed, and I kind of like lay underneath, and I build like this pillow fort around everything so that the sound doesn't get all fucked up. But that's just what I have to do. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why I'm apologizing to you. This is more uncomfortable for me than you. You don't know this. But yeah. Let's see what else. Somebody asked me, sorry I didn't get your name, but you asked me what my family thinks of my views. My family knows that I am a blatant and outspoken communist. And a lot of them are, I come from a semi-lefty, not semi, they're fairly lefty family. So it's cool. It's not a really big deal. I get some usual bullshit from some family members, like, oh, you know, communism had its time and place, but now since the Soviet Union's gone, like, and it's the usual. Just nonsense. But otherwise, it's not an issue. I don't have the issue. I don't have the problems that other people face. Alhamdulillah, I'm lucky in that way. But yeah, I get for example, regularly I get gifted books. I had a family member who bought me a Lenin bust, actually. So it's a silly gift. I wouldn't have bought it myself, but yeah. I think I also mentioned a story. I had a friend who once went to a hotel somewhere in Europe, and in their hotel room there was this beautiful bust of Stalin. It was like a black bust, and they sent me a picture, and I was like, fucking take it with you, or go down to the management and be like, I'll buy it off you, because they clearly didn't give a shit. It was not in good condition, like they weren't taking care of it. But the person just came home, and he showed up empty-handed, and me and that person are no longer friends. I'm kidding. But it's something I teased this particular person over and over again for. But yeah. Samwise J. Morgenstern sent $5. Thank you very much. He said, I recently read Orientalism by Said, and I see similarities in the logic of Orientalism and anti-communism. Would you agree? Yeah, very much so. Anti-communism and Orientalism there's a link in that it's always based on or not miscommunication, what's the appropriate word? Misinterpretation and intentional misrepresentation of the ideas or the reality of this other. And that's what we have with Orientalism, with this fetishization of an idea. It's not what the East is like, it's what the West thinks the East is like, and then they criticize that or critique that, etc. And anti-communism is the exact same. It's if you look at, for example, anti-communist propaganda during the Russian Civil War or the Russian Revolution, you see that they say stupid shit like, oh, the communists will make everybody use one single blanket. The communists want a common community of women, so you're gonna have to share your wife with everybody. Bullshit like this, stuff that no communist has ever advocated for. Yeah, so they run off of these strawmen, because they know that if they actually legitimately present our ideas as they are, then they're actually gonna lose supporters, because what we talk about is common sense, really. Dan in the Outback once said, I have to admit, it flew by. Sorry, he said something along, oh, I'm becoming a socialist superstar. No, I'm not. I'm just a random person. Please, I'm some guy on the internet, so don't take me too seriously. If I help you in education and whatnot, or help you find a source that you like to read, alhamdulillah, I'm really glad that happens. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just some guy. Suck said, Hakim, pillow fort, and then he dabs, or at least it looks like a dab, and that's exactly what it is. It's basically a pillow fort I have. Jackson Music said, Hakim, have you ever listened to the political rapper Low Key? He is actually a very good rapper, and he's Iraqi, for people who don't know. And I like his music, very much so. But I haven't listened to too much of it. There's a few controversial questions. I will eventually answer them, but not right now. It's still too early. Hamza Agha asked, have you gone to Hajj, Hakim? My family's saving money for Hajj. Is it safe for outspoken leftists to go to Saudi? Yes, man, it's fine. If you're going for Hajj, it's fine. Other purposes, it might be an issue, but Hajj is quote-unquote apolitical. It's fine. Have I gone to Hajj? No, but it is a dream of mine. I haven't done Umrah or Hajj, but I really want to. My parents haven't, though, so it would be better for them to go. But maybe I'm thinking, inshallah, I would save some money, and then I could take them, so it could be a little thing that we do. Inshallah, that would be something I really would like to do. But yeah, thank you for the very nice question. Man, there's some very like specific and deep questions here. I'm gonna eventually get to them. Don't worry. But some people sent some stuff. Henry the Eighth Fake sent £2. He said most base pillow fort in history. Thank you for the £2. I guess so. Maybe it's a very garbage pillow fort, by the way. I got the secondhand couch basically, and the fucking it was a pain to clean. But yeah, I managed to get it done, and now I'm reclining on these beigey gray fucking pillows. They look weird. But yeah, let's see. Somebody asked, "Oh, will you ever continue the series about wage labor and capital?" Said RHM. I think maybe in the future, but not right now. I'm not in the mood. I'm thinking of actually doing. I was gonna work on a video today, but I did not get the what's it called, the motivation. I tried and like I compiled sources, but when it came to typing, I just couldn't bring myself. So I'll try it some other time. It was going to be a video about UBI, excuse me. I was going to say UTI. Dude, I've been doing... I work too much. It was about UBI. But yeah, I was also thinking, linked to that, I want to do a video where it's like, I ask you guys what confuses you about Marxism, or things that you just don't understand too well, and I'll make it like a list, and then it can be like a video series, where I have like these 3-minute videos where I just explain basic concepts, something like that. That'd be fun, I think. Let's see, Rafe Fortunes wrote, "We're Hakim Gaming." I'm not that big into video games. I was like 10 years ago, but I play maybe, I would say once every 2 months for like 2 hours I might play a video game, and that's it. My schedule simply doesn't allow for it, but even if I had the time, I probably wouldn't do it. It's just I'm not too into it anymore, sadly. But if you're wondering about my favorite games, I can give you franchises. I really like the Resident Evil series. Resident Evil 4 is my favorite. Resident Evil 2 is my second favorite. I like Devil May Cry. I like Onimusha. I like Silent Hill. I liked the Gears of War series when they came out. I love the Amnesia series. I love horror games. Like, you have no idea. Penumbra is a masterpiece. Name a horror game, I played it. But yeah, most of my golden age of gaming, the stuff that I really liked was PlayStation 2 stuff. That, and I really liked Sega. I loved playing Shinobi. Yeah. Oh, and PlayStation 1 games, of course. I love playing Medieval 1 and 2, the one with Sir Daniel Fortescue. I'm sure this is an obscure game, but some people know it. It's absolutely amazing. It was recently remade. I strongly recommend you try it. Great game, absolutely. There's a lot more. We can talk about gaming later, but yeah. Xteranix sent $20. Thank you very much. He said, "What is your opinion in Deng Xiaoping and Dengism?" Well, you asked it and you sent money, so I have to answer, don't I? Okay. TLDR, because I'm not in the mood to talk for an hour about this topic. By the way, it's not Deng, it's Dung, but that's just a minor side point. I think he was a person that was necessary in the time and place for China. That doesn't mean that I completely agree with everything he's done, but I don't agree with this weird image that he was some, like, what's it called? Absolute traitor to the leftist movement, blah, blah, blah. I think he was pragmatic above all, and he realized that in a point where the Soviet Union had broken ties with China, and they were globally isolated, and they had no internal infrastructure worth a damn, and they had no heavy industry that actually mattered, and definitely no light industry, when most of the population was still either highly uneducated or just barely literate, he realized that the first thing we need to do is to increase the level of productive forces within our country, and that requires allowing external capital in. Now, I don't know if I would have done the same in his position, but I can't say that I don't understand why he did it, if that makes sense. That doesn't mean I completely support it or anything, but it's just to clarify that it is a thing that happened, and I don't think you should, sitting on the sideline on our ivory tower and just be like, oh, this was, shaking, doing the finger wagging, isn't really that useful when you weren't in the precarious situation that China was in the era. But yeah, I think that's a generic answer. A really long answer you can find on the video I did with that Q&A, not Q&A, the interview I did with Paul Moran, not the second one, the first one. Maybe I'll do I'll do a video on my channel, excuse me, talking about what I personally think in like a more summarized form, but that'll be later. And yeah, Dengism I don't think is a thing, or Dungism I don't think, that's not an ideology. It's like Stalinism. It's not a thing. It is just an application, I guess, of the. It's basically a list of Chinese economic and political policies that were taken in the end of the last century, and not much more than that. But if you do. I don't want to say he had no theoretical contributions. Everybody, even Gonzalo, for example, had theoretical contributions. But it just, it depends on how you personally view it. So yeah, I think I missed some super chats because they went by. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm gonna scroll up. Fuck. Sorry, I'm trying to read as many questions as I possibly can. So please give me give me some slack, as they say. Xteranix sent $2. Thank you very much. He said, "Will you collab with Second Thought?" I'm just gonna leave that as a question mark. Let's just leave it at that. Let's see. Would I ever do a video on what fascism is? I've been planning on, actually. That's a nice idea. I might do so. Somebody said no love for Persona. My best friend is a huge fan of Persona. Absolutely. The guy's fucking crazy for it. I could never get into it. I'm sorry. But yeah. Let's see. Weekend47 sent €5. Thank you very much. He said, "Have you seen Comrade Detective? What are your thoughts on parodies of communist propaganda that actually come off based? Also, congratulations." Thank you very much. I have not, but I'm going to open a new tab. Comrade Detective. I'm going to take a look into it later. I don't know who this... Oh, it's the show that was supposed to be... Aha, yeah. I remember hearing about this. I have not seen it, but thank you for reminding me about it. Now I'm going to watch it. Maybe I'll do a stupid video where I kind of give my thoughts over it, if you'd like. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. SoulTR said, "Hakim, do you have a Discord?" I do, but it's a patrons only one, because I want to keep it kind of... Because if I open it up, it's going to have like thousands of members, and it's going to become a nightmare to fucking moderate. I'm not in the mood for that, personally. Let's see. I like, now I gotta know if Hakim likes horror films, says Xan Mead. I know I'm really back in the chat, but it goes by so fucking quickly, I'm sorry. I don't, I don't mind them, but most of the time I don't like, because it's just usually gore, it's never actually scary, so I've never been impressed. There's very few horror movies that I've seen, I'm like, oh yeah, you know. So yeah. I like more psychological thriller type, like The Game, with Michael Douglas. That's, for example, a kind of a movie that I really like. The one where you're like, imagine if that circumstance is fucked up. Let's see. Do you have a Discord? Yes, I do. Playthrough of Fallout New Vegas. I'm not gonna do that, but I played it briefly with a friend, and it's fun. Do you have any? Do you know any books about the revolution attempt in Oman? Says Amadur. I would have to look. I think there's something. There's like a bell that is rung in the back of my mind, but the title isn't coming to my head, so yeah. Bunky said, "Do you have a beard? If so, what type of beard?" I do have a beard, yes. You will very rarely see me beardless. But yeah, I recently had to shave it because I went to a family like gathering thing, a big family gathering thing, and they were like, "You're not going to come in there with that fucking ISIS beard," so I'm like, alright, fine. But yeah, I am bearded to differing extents. I go from like a stubble to Fidel Castro, depending on how I feel. Let's see. Okay, people, fuck it, stop asking about Discord, please. I already answered the fucking question. No, I know it's just because I'm scrolling. Alex Smith sent $2. Thank you very much. He said, "Why are Iraqi men so handsome?" I don't know. Maybe I'll show you my face one day. You can judge for yourself. I'm kidding. I don't think that Iraqi men are very handsome. I think Iraqi women tend to be very beautiful. But Iraqi men, it's hit or miss. It's either they look really good or they look like your weird uncle. Okay, hold on. Okay, now it's gonna do this thing where it just completely jumps. Fuck. All right. Sorry. I know I'm probably missing some super chats. I'm so sorry about this. The thing really does fly by. Okay. Hold on. Hakim, do you plan? No, where is it? Would you ever do a video of fascism? Already said. Hakim body pillow. Secret Spy 24. Ooh, sent £1. Thank you very much. When's your next video? Probably the next week or so. I'll see when I have time to edit. Do I play any instruments? Asks Max Frostbite. I play the piano. At least I did. I haven't played in many years now because I never have the time. But it was a passion of mine, and I really wish I stuck with it. It's a real shame. But yeah, maybe one day I'll serenade you guys. So yeah. Xteranix or Gen Zedong's gonna love this. I've been meaning to do a thing with them. I would love to go on their Discord server and just do a like in Q&A or just chat shit. But I just can't find the time. I would love to. Let's see, wait, there's a lot of fucking things. Cold Weather Sucks says, "Are you ever gonna learn a third language? What makes you think that I only speak 2 languages?" Let's see, are you gonna make a video on ML literature but summarize for 5-year-olds? Maybe I can do that, maybe. Hold on. Can I make more PragerU videos? Do you guys actually enjoy that shit? Because I usually try to minimize reaction videos as much as I can because I think they're low-hanging fruit. Yeah, sure, why not in the future? If you guys like that kind of stuff, why not? Daniel O'Crowley said, do you recognize Kosovo? Yes, I do. I don't want to jump into that like complication of whatever, but I think if people want self-determination, they should have it, depending. But honestly, if Yugoslavia... Look, I support the independent Kosovo, but what I support way more is an independent united Yugoslavia. Let's word it like that. But yeah, let's see. Again, sorry, there's so many fucking, Pablo Novi said, hi, Pablo here. Been a revolutionary or leftist since 1965, ML since 1967. Tons of experience and study. First time chatting on Hakim's YouTube. Hi, it's always nice to see a veteran comrade, and I would love to actually be able to sit down and chat with you. All that. It's if you've never sat with an old communist, I don't think there's very few things that are as rewarding as that, because the amount of information that you can get, right? Sometimes I meet like I'm just talking with other Marxists. I'm like, oh, you have a fun conversation because you're on the same page. But when you meet the older ones and they've read so much and they have so much life experience, and you're like, it's fun. You should do it. North Sea Pirates sent $2. Thank you. He said, thoughts on the 1 versus 2 state solution in Israel. There's only one state, and there's only one solution. It's one state, and it's a Palestinian state. There's no other solution, I'm sorry to say. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Israel is an illegal military occupation of a sovereign land and sovereign people. Doesn't mean that an independent Palestine can't have equal rights for Jews and Palestinians, but Israel as an entity does not deserve to exist. Kvantor asked, Hakim is your real name? That's all you're gonna get. I like the sting. He says, why are you so cute? Oh, Habibi, you're cute. I think half of all Hakim viewers are Jen Zedong users, says it's Ukizi. I would be honored if that's the case. So yeah, I am a fan of the subreddit. Julian asked, any books on medicine in revolutionary socialist countries? There's a few. There's one called Red Medicine. I think it was published in 1929. It's about Soviet medicine. It's very good. There's one about the barefoot doctors in China, which is very interesting. But they weren't like quote-unquote proper doctors, but that's a bit weird to even say. But I mean like doctors who went through a proper medical program and then got their appropriate master's degree in medicine, etc. There's a book on Cuban medicine. I don't remember the title of it. It's not coming to my mind. I'm sorry, but I can... If you just write a book on Cuban medicine or Cuba's medical healthcare system, it will come up for sure. So yeah. Let's see. Am I married? It says Lettuce. No, I'm not, but I'm looking to get married. Electronic Raisin, Hakim, don't want to lose patrons but calling them revisionist capitalist. No, that's not the case. It's because saying revisionist capitalist is a severe simplification of a very complex era in Chinese history. I hate that type of talk because it's when people say, oh, like Khrushchev was just a revisionist. Yes, he was, but so was Tito. But there's a fundamental difference between those two. And even though both of them carried out policies that were incorrect, the underlying reason for why those policies were carried out were different, and you need to directly analyze these. That's the only way we're going to reach an appropriate and correct answer. I don't like simple answers. I like when people actually get into the nuance, get into the nitty-gritty and talk. And that's why I also don't like the very inflammatory, insulting language when it comes to these figures, be it to whoever. For example, I'm not a fan of, what's his name? Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm tired after work, so my memory always ends up being garbage. Oh, the Italian left communist. Oh my God. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The guy who looks like he's fucking constipated in that one picture they always use. The one who wrote in Dialogue with Stalin. You know exactly what I mean. The name is not coming to my mind right now. Even though I'm not a big fan of his work, I still wouldn't go down and be like, oh, ultra-left scum, he does blah, blah, blah. Gonzalo, I'm not a fan of, really. But I'm still not going to be, it doesn't help anybody. That's my point. Xan Mead said, Hakim means doctor in Arabic, if I understand correctly. You're right. Do you guys want to hear about why my name is the way it is, why I chose Hakim? I'll wait for the chat to answer, and then I'll give you why. Andre Garcia sent $5. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Views on Pancho Villa. I don't know what that is. Is that the place where Gonzalo got captured? Him and his psoriasis cream? Oh no, you mean the one of the Mexican Revolution? Is that the one that I'm thinking of? I'm sorry, I have not read nearly enough to be qualified. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, I've went too far up and I've waited too long with the chat. Jesus Christ, yeah. Oh my God, the chat goes by so fucking quickly. Bordiga, that's it. Thank you. Everybody's fucking yelling at me. It's Bordiga. You're right. My apologies. Fuck. All right, I'm just gonna scroll up just to see all these fucking. Okay, if you sent a super, actually no, can't I see the super chats somewhere? Oh, you can see them on this. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. There's a dedicated menu, but I didn't have it open, so they haven't loaded. So anybody who sent them, I'm very sorry that I didn't get to it, but the chat like went by too quickly and they disappeared. So I'll get to the next one. Sorry, I'm really sorry about that. Let's see. What communist or what non-communist or non-political content creators do you like to watch? I like to watch Trash Taste or those three, Garnt and Sea Dog VA and that stuff on occasion. That's fun. I used to like Funhouse, but recently they're not as what's it called? They haven't been as good, I think. I like to watch a lot of cooking stuff. That's another thing I like. Yeah, so just generic. I watch cooking videos, occasional gameplay stuff, and yeah, this is the non-political. Most of the stuff I watch is political. So yeah. Let's see. A Tank Piggy asked this many times, but I'll just answer. He says, "How's the infrastructure in Iraq?" Sorry for spam. It's fine. It's okay. Third world country infrastructure, so not the best, but not the worst. Iceberg said, "How am I? I'm very fine. Thank you for asking." Am I going to make a video? Yes, I'm going to make a video. I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon. Wait, we can ping Hakim with questions? Yes, you can. What languages do you speak? Well, that's a secret. But I'm just gonna keep it, I am a man of many mysteries, says Sonia and Haragi. That is very true. Can we get a Hakim OnlyFans? Yeah, you're gonna get an arm vein reveal. That's all you'd get. It's either that or the waveform of my voice. Fucking hell. I can't believe that people do that shit and people pay for it. What the fuck? All right. Should all scientific knowledge be free to everyone? Asks Silas. Absolutely. This is not controversial in the least to say. Carmen Ryder class struggle sent $2. Thank you very much. He says thoughts on the release of Michael's Wanzhou. Oh, you mean of that recent debacle? I'll get to it later, I think. But the gist of it, if I remember correctly, is that she was unjustly incarcerated, or like there was nothing legal about what was happening at the time, and I'm glad that she's out. But I haven't read enough about it. I would need to look into it. Have you? This is a good one. Cold weather sucks. Asked me. Have put answered DMs on pause? Question mark. Yes, I have. I do not answer DMs on Twitter anymore. I'm planning to do a proper what's it called, announcement video on that. The basic gist of it is it used to take 15 minutes to answer, then it got to a point where I was spending 3 hours a day answering these questions, and it was too much of a toll on my time. And it's time that either I could have spent on myself, like working out or cooking, or time that I could have spent working on videos, or time just relaxing. That would just end up to answering really like essay long questions. So I can't do it. I wish I could, but I really can't. Especially since I get like 40 DMs a day sometimes, and if I put up the days I put up videos, I get like 300 DMs. It's insane. So I really can't put up with the thing. But I still read most of them, and I'm gonna try to do this thing where I read every DM I get, and the ones that are interesting enough for me to answer, I will answer. But just generically, I can't answer. I'm genuinely sorry about it. I wish I could, but I can't. Let's see. Opinions on the bedtime discourse on Twitter. Yeah, it's about what you expect from the Western left. I'm kidding. But yeah, it's all jokes, man. North Sea Pirate said, everybody knows Hakim is married to Gopnik. That's right. He is my eternal love. So yeah, sorry, I'm really late to these fucking questions. Will I fucking live stream my wedding? No, I'm not gonna do that. First of all, I need to find a woman first, but yeah. Your thoughts on CEA? Oh, Southeast Asian communist movements? Well, the one in the Philippines is pretty cool. But it depends. There's many different communist movements in Southeast Asia. So you would need to be way more specific. Yeah, let's see. Hakim means physician in my language. Wink, says Sharon. Yes, okay, I can answer that question, by the way. So basically, the reason I chose Hakim is because Hakim in colloquial Arabic means doctor, but also the root of Hakim, Hakim actually means wisdom, but there's a sister root which is related to another word which is Hakim, which is the way I spell it. I pronounce my name Hakim, but I write Hakim. Hakim means ruler in Arabic, and if you know about the etymology of Slavic names, like Vladimir, you'd know that Vladimir means like ruler of something. It actually means ruler of the world. And Hakim also means ruler. So I'm kind of basically linking two things: the fact that I'm a doctor and the fact that I'm a Leninist myself, to make this very stupid pun that only I really find interesting. But yeah. Chloe Burbank said, I love that he/she/they love my voice. Well, thank you very much. I find it sometimes annoying. It's actually hard to listen to myself speak, but thank you. I'm glad that people would say that. Let's see. Setaway said, I did $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Asking if you had thoughts on De Leonism, a socialism achieved through a federation of militant unions. Sorry that I didn't get to it, but I'll answer your question now. De Leonism is more or less a dead ideology. They don't exist anymore, but the basis of it is sound to an extent. I would recommend people who are interested to read up on Cockshot's ideas on how to create federations of different enterprises, cooperative enterprises within a socialist economy, so that you don't end up with the issues that other market systems ended up with in transition towards a higher stage of socialism. It's very, very interesting. He discusses it in his videos on market socialism, and he briefly discusses it in his book, How the World Works. So that's what I would recommend. But yeah, federations of militant unions, not under capitalism, but under socialism, there's definitely an idea there where trade unionism and federations of enterprises, like with syndicates, can make room to battle the capitalist, the reproductive capitalist force that exists within markets. So yeah. Banjo Kazooie, I'm assuming, says, Hakim, Klecha recipe when? I'll make Klecha sometimes for you guys. If you guys don't know where Klecha is, the national cookie of Iraq. It's like a date cookie with spices. You put cardamom and stuff. You have two types. You can either do it with dates, or you can make it with like nuts and stuff like that. Like walnuts is popular. Walnuts and coconut shavings is something people do. It's very, very fucking good. It's my favorite thing ever. Yes, opinions on the bedtime discourse I already mentioned. Do you plan on leaving Iraq soon, or and if so, would you go? That's a personal question, so I'm not going to mention that. But it depends. If my life is ever threatened here, maybe. But so far, I'm comfortable here, so I think I'm staying. Will you ever make the video on whether Islam is socialist or capitalist? It's turned into a book. Habibi K asked that, by the way. It's a book, so it will eventually happen. Just give me a second. I have very little time. Jayliam said, are you Sunni? If not, what's your thoughts on it? I am Sunni, yes. Congrats. People are saying congratulations on 100k. Thank you very much. I'm very thankful for I wouldn't have done it without you guys, and it's the reason why I make videos. I started because I find this fun. I'm continuing because I find this fun. I really like the community. I feel very bad that I've never done like live streams and chatted with you guys, because I really, really want to do more of that. I want to have a bit of community of people I chat with, etc. I have a bit of that on my Discord, but still I would like to do it with the just general wider audience that I have. So thank you very much. Okay, I need to there's so many questions. I'm gonna get to some super chats and then I'll read the rest. I'm sorry. Darth Vadent sent $5. Thank you very much. He said, Hakim, what parts of Iraq is your family from? Mine are from Nahlan Suleymaniya. I'm Syrian. Unfortunately, many of my peers are reactionary. I understand that. My dad is from the north of the country, and my mom is from Nasiriyah. So it's a mixed marriage. It was a Sunni Shiite marriage. My mother is Shiite. My dad is Sunni. So yeah. CC Bib sent $5. Thank you very much for the $5. He said, congrats on 100k. Thank you very much. Let's see. Tanu Tahitan Fire 987 sent $5. Thank you very much. Your best book recommendations on the Soviet Union. That's a very loaded question. There's so many. But if I would recommend one thing that's actually semi-relevant, would be that book that I just mentioned by Paul Cockshott, How the World Works. He has a chapter on applied socialism, and it is absolutely amazing. It's brilliant. I cannot recommend it enough. I've been meaning to do something with it on the what's it called, like a video on it, but it's we'll see when it happens. But but yeah, I definitely recommend it. Chairman Bruh sent $5. Thank you very much. He says, could you make a video on communism in Italy? Sure, but I would like to do a video on the disturbances that happened within the 70s, and how the state fought against socialism and whatnot, and the Communist Party. That's something that seems very neat that I'd like to do. Let's see. Kazik asked me, do I enjoy my job as a physician? Well, yeah, I'm here. I'm working, so I guess yes. I find it fulfilling personally. So it's very nice. But yeah, it's gets tiring very quickly, so that's why. Yeah, it depends. Some days are very good, some days are garbage. I think that's how I can put it. Let's see. Comrade Uwu asked thoughts on Comrade Naheed Ahmed. That's the mashallah Comrade Hakim has posted, and he is absolutely lovely. He is my most loyal commenter. He's in every comment section. I really appreciate him. Bob asked me, did you study physics at all in your education? Did you enjoy it? You have to study physics as part of your medical education, and I'm not a big fan of it, no. I did not really enjoy it. It wasn't to my taste, I would say. My mind is kind of wired a bit differently, I would say. Nick asked me, what kind of doctor am I? It's in general medicine. I'm in residency. I haven't specialized yet. I'm waiting to get a specialization position. Lil BJ, fuck you. You made me say that. He said, I'm writing a socialist musical. Any advice? Make it revolutionary. Don't like, you can use allegories and whatnot, but don't don't go all light on that stuff. Make it impactful. Marxism Arianism asked thoughts on Unomi Park and other defectors. Excuse me, I need to fix the way I'm sitting because this under bed shit is notoriously uncomfortable. Yeah, what was the question? Yeah, what do I think of defectors there? Well, most of them are full of shit. Of course, some of them have genuine stories, and the people who experience hardship and oppression, they deserve some sympathy. But Unomi Park is a known liar. She's lied about everything. She says that there's no ice cream in North Korea and shit like that. She's full of shit. I don't know what to tell you. All right, hold on. Oh no, it went away. Fuck. I was gonna answer a question. It'll probably come up again. Let's see. Hold on, there's a question that I just saw. What consoles do I own, or are you PC Master Race? I have an old Xbox, and I have my original PlayStation 2, but that's about it. I have a friend that owns newer consoles, and I go over there when I want to play something, which is very rare. Yeah. A Sapphic Kitsune asked me, what's my favorite dinosaur? I don't have one. I was never really into dinosaurs myself. I was more of a space kid, if that makes sense. Let's see. Bob said, I am a physicist. Sag, man. Sag? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means, but I'm not clowning on physicists. They do very important work. It's just personally, it didn't work. My mind didn't mesh too well with it. I did decently enough, but I'm still not the biggest fan of physics personally. Are there any non-Marxist leaders that I like? Asked Redneck Communist. Yeah, Gaddafi is definitely one, for example. Sukarno. Wait, was it Sukarno or Suharto? I don't remember now. You know you know exactly what I'm talking about. But he was a good leader as well, despite not being an explicit Marxist, etc. There's a couple of them. Okay. Secret Spy asked me this many times. Have you ever read up on the British Communist Party or fellow British socialists, such as Tom Mann? I have not. I'm sorry. Moroccan versus Iraqi tea. That's the thing. That's a very difficult question. I really like mint, but I'm sorry to say I'm true to my Iraqi origins. But I do something that's blasphemous to most Iraqis. I don't fill my fucking cup halfway with sugar. All right, I like to have just a little bit at the bottom. So that's how I roll personally. Sexmod TF2 Free Punjab Virus asked, how old am I? I'm in my mid-20s, if that's relevant. Somebody asked the question and it flew by. Goddamn. Yes. I don't see where it was. Somebody basically asked me if I'm religious. I am religious. And Sonia Al-Horegi answered that correctly. So thank you for doing that. But yes, I am. Do I think we as leftists should prioritize praxis or reading theory? Asks Taylor. I know you've made a vid before about new Marxists, but someone with limited time, which to prioritize. If you are not educated, you in the theory, then I don't think it's exactly the best to try to go out and it depends. It depends what you. If it's direct mobilization, trying to educate people, you need to have the education and background. But if you're other like trying to do workplace organization, that's more organic. Then that's completely fine. It really depends on what you yourself feel. But you should never get in a position where you are uneducated or less than adequately educated on a topic where you discuss. I think that's what's important. But I would say if best try to do both, but like Engel said, an ounce of practice is worth a ton of theory. So you'll learn either way. That's what I think. Xylus asked, what kind of music do you listen to? I don't know if this will surprise people or not. I really like Molchat Doma, or I like Russian post-punk in general. So that's something I listen to a lot. I love the rapper Bamboo, Bambu, Filipino-American rapper. Really good work. Let's see. I love city pop, like the Japanese music. I like to listen to lo-fi, stuff like that. I used to like Daft Punk as well when I was younger. That's the Western music I listen to. And when it comes to Arabic music, I listen to the classic. I listen to a lot of Kulthum, for example. So that's, I guess, enough of an answer on music. Cold Weather Sucks asked me, what is my workout split? Do you work out for muscle building purposes or staying active? Both. I try to do compound movement exercises every time I work out, and I try to split just upper lower. But most of what I'm doing nowadays is calisthenics, and I'm trying to do as much free weight and then compound movement exercise that I can. I stay away from machines personally, and I think you should too. Especially my joints are a bit fucky, if that makes sense. Especially my left shoulder. I don't know. I used to play a lot of football as a kid, and I fell a lot. So maybe I fucked it somehow. But machines always make my fucking shoulders crack like no business. So I like to do free weight workouts instead. Ukari asked, is Lenin a German spy? No, he wasn't. Let's see. Hold on, sorry, because there's so many questions. Oh my god, you summoned the gorillas. I don't know who that is, but okay. Unless you mean the band. Which also, I had a friend who used to listen to them a lot. So yeah. City pop and lo-fi, what the fuck? Hakim, I love you. Well, I love you too. I have an eclectic music taste. Yeah. Dina Amran said, oh, you mentioned Sukarno. Yes, thank you. My Indonesian heart is full and happy. He was a great man, genuinely. Let's see. I'm not surprised at all that Hakim is not a metalhead like me, lol. You know what? When I was a kid, I used to listen to just a couple of metal songs, but just never, it goes too hard for me. Like, if I'm sitting and not doing anything, the music is too hard for just sitting and not doing anything, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Okay, hold on. There's a couple of fucking, what's it called? Super chats that I missed. Sorry. Give me a sec. Hold up. Fuck, where'd it go? Okay, you guys are still here. Okay, it clipped out for some reason. Let's see. Where are you? Red Risky, there we go. I couldn't see them. Sent £10, thank you, or euros, excuse me. Thank you very much. He said, "Do you think the Mujahideen struggle against the Soviets in Afghanistan was at all justified?" Not really, because they were a reactionary movement directly supported by Saudi and Pakistan, the United States, and whatnot. So no, but the USSR did not do a good job of that military endeavor whatsoever. They definitely didn't get people on their side. So that was definitely a mistake. Crowbanian sent $5. Thank you very much. He asked, can you discuss how to counteract religious arguments against socialism and how to prove to the religious that socialism is an inherently better system? Yeah, well, you have to frame the argument in ways that they would understand. The number one religious argument against socialism is, it's an atheistic ideology. But everything else that socialism underpins kind of meshes very well with religious if you want to call it morality or principles. So you just need to get over that barrier. And that's kind of the service that Marxists, particularly of the Soviet variety, have done to the general movement, that they kind of always associated Marxism with atheism. And that's definitely hurt the global movement, especially in the third world. But yeah, so just try to frame it in a conversation that works for them. Try to use terms that they would understand. Try to frame it in a way that they would entirely see the perspective of like the politics of it, and reality, material reality of it, rather than like weird philosophical arguments, if that makes sense. So TLDR, try to discuss the material nature of socialism, what it will do for the working people, and the fact that socialism does not inherently want to take away any religious freedoms that people may have. In fact, it wants to increase religious freedom by removing this heavy-handed individualism and consumerism from people's lives, trying to promote like community and kinship a bit more, etc., etc. Things that directly link to the growth of spirituality in whatever form, be it religious or quasi-religious fashions. But yeah, I'm gonna write a book about this properly. I was thinking, should I give you a sneak peek? But no, I'm not gonna do it. But next time. Let's see. Red Risky, I answered. Igor sent 25 zlotys, I believe is the Polish currency. He said, "Great job, very good channel. Congratulations on 100k. Any good books on feminism news? Sorry, you commend." Thank you very much. Oh man. Oh lord. If you at me on Twitter, then I can check and then I'm gonna get back to you. The titles aren't coming to my head, but I know there are 2 or 3 books that I could recommend. One of them very rare, but very interesting. So just at me on Twitter or something, I'll do it. Oh my god, I haven't been good with book titles today. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Public Morozov sent 100 rubles. Thank you. He said, "Sorry that interview didn't happen. Turbulent months are now in Russia. Good luck, Habibi." Thank you very much. I don't remember what interview we were talking about, but yeah, thank you. Sorry, I have to, because I've missed so many super chats, so I'm just going to read them, then I'll get back to the regular chat questions. I'm sorry. Spencer Savage sent $20. Thank you very much. He said, "I'm new to leftism and I was wondering what a good learning order/path would be so that what I learn would naturally build upon itself, giving me a great understanding of theory, history, and economics through a leftist lens. You should always start with basics, make sure you understand them, then build on top of that. If you don't have a good foundation, then the rest of the structure will fall apart." So that's something that you should do personally. But do what you're comfortable with. Don't force yourself to, jump into really heavy works if you don't feel ready for it, right? Feel free to ask questions as much as you can. Remember, this is not you're not alone in this path. So always try to reach out if you need help and whatnot. But my general recommendation is always start with the basics. Start with the works of the major theoreticians. Make sure you understand them first, and then you can build up on that. But honestly, if you, for example, my book recommendations video where I say it's the basic leftist reading list, that the only leftist reading list you'd ever need, which is a tongue-in-cheek thing, because as a Marxist, your curse in life is to never have a finished reading list. If you were to read all those, then if you were to read all those, then I think you'd be very secure in your Marxism, much more than most people, I would say. Let's see. Tyrell M asked me favorite Quran verse. I would have to say in تقرضون الله. No. What was it? It's not that. Oh man, you're making me switch between English and Arabic now. إن تقرضون الله قرضا حسنا يضاعفه لكم ويغفر لكم والله غفور رحيم. That's the one, yeah. Look, I'm gonna give a cookie to the person who knows which verse that is, and knows the translation. But it's a very nice verse, because to translate it basically is if you were to give God a loan or credit, then he would multiply it for you, and in it is forgiveness for you. And it's very strange to hear this conversation where it's like God is telling you, if you were to give him a loan, what does that mean? And it's kind of commentary on the greed of humanity, and that you would have to be told in monetary terms for you to understand the heaviness of what it is that you want to do, right? Or it's a very it's such a it makes me teary-eyed, honestly. It's such a beautiful verse. It's that, or another verse which is also very nice, but I'm not gonna recite it because it makes me cry every time I say it. Is the one on the buried fetus that asks what her crime was. Yeah, it makes me emotional just thinking about it. But yeah, so that's the That's my favorite Quran. I'm very in touch with my religion. So, um, let's see. Michael Blancard asked, "You're easily one of my favorite YouTube pages. Thank you for educating my dumb American brain. No need to insult yourself. Thoughts on Infrared on YouTube? Pat seems insanely reactionary. I don't know him. I've never seen anything that he has, so I can't comment. Yeah, I hope like if he does good work, then it continues, and if it's not, then you know, I don't know much of him. Again, I've never seen anything. He's never contacted me. So yeah, but if he's like harassing people, then that's a real shame. And he should stop that. If he's doing good work though, then I hope he continues doing whatever good work he's doing. And that's that. Let's see. Thomas Hold asked me, what are your thoughts on Jesus Christ, law? Well, alayhi salam, he's a mighty prophet of God and an incredible human being, and one, as Muslims, that we believe will play an important role at the end of time. So I heavily respect him and love him, just like all the prophets. Feels weird talking to you guys about religion, because I very rarely do it. But yeah. Let's see. Carl Mailings sent $5. Thank you. He said, fellow space kid, Star Trek fan, favorite sci-fi. Keep up the amazing work, comrade. Here's to 1 million subscribers soon. Thank you very much. I don't think I'll reach 1 million subscribers. That's a way too what's it called? That's very optimistic. But I have only ever seen one Star Trek episode, and yeah, so I'm sorry about that. I tried getting into it a bit, but it wasn't my sort of thing. So my apologies. My favorite sci-fi. Again, I'm not too into sci-fi. I've never been really into sci-fi. But then again, you'd have to define again like what sci-fi specifically is to you and to me. Yeah, it's I'm sorry that I can't actually answer this question decently. My apologies. Hakim X Terranix asked, what is your opinion on Marxists who want to start YouTube channels? Well, they should. Diversity is our strength. We should have more, for sure. So yeah, if you want to do it. Wait, why a moment of silence for our comrades? What happened? Let's see. Is everybody okay? Is the stream fine? Okay, somebody will let me know. Yeah, let's see. Do you see my jam sent £4? Thank you very much. He said, do you have any favorite Arabic singers, musicians you would recommend? If you need to start with anybody, you start with Kulthum, right? Esmahan also is amazing, my god, and she was a beautiful woman too, and her story is very interesting, so I would highly recommend. But yeah, Kulthum is the complete classic. It's the kind of music that either makes you want to cry, or just like vibe, or just be eating really good food. Those are the three moods that Kulthum brings with them. So yeah, Getchan. Whoops, it skipped. Said 100 euros. Habibi, stop wasting your money. Fuck. Thank you very much. He's like, congrats on 100k. I have to ask, what are some of your favorite left-wing socialist songs? Well, a lot of them you've posted yourself. So thank you very much for the good work you do. Oh, there's too many to ask. Lenin is young again. Lenin, that's definitely one. There's an Armenian song that praises Stalin. It's the one where it's like, Janib Stalin, Janib Stalin. I really like that one. You posted that one too. A lot of the Yugoslav music you've posted, I really like. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of it. There's too much to note, but I used to listen to a lot of Red Army Choir stuff as well when I was younger. I really liked their music. My favorite one, I think, is either okay. Patijanka. No. What's it called? It's called The Dark Skinned Partisan is the one. It's the Moldovan. It sings about Moldovan partisans. In some like vineyard or something, and she calls them to join the partisans. It's a very beautiful song. But it's not coming to my mind now. There's a couple of them, but they're not coming to mind. I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you for the 100 euros. Jeez. Tanky E said a local comrade died. Read into the $15 donation. Okay, I'm gonna read it in a sec. Thank you for letting me know. May he rest in peace. Abdullah Qawa said, I think I'm physically attracted to Hakim. Well, I'm physically attracted to you, so it's bilateral, don't we? No, not bilateral. Oh, fuck, what's it? It goes down. Yeah, you don't understand. It's mutual. That's the fucking word I was trying to use. Lamau, we need more Hakim singing communist songs. Yeah, if I drank, then you'd probably get a lot more of it, but nah. Okay, let's see. Smuglianka, that's exactly. Carmeling, thank you so much. It's Smuglianka, yeah. Smuglianka Moldovanka is the song. It's a really, really good song. I love it. Bella Ciao I like as well. I like the Red Army Choir version of Bella Ciao. I actually know the entire words to Bella Ciao and Bandiera Rossa. I know many different songs. I know lots of Italian, Russian, and German left-wing songs by heart. So let's see. All right, let me read the other stuff. Yannick Ladon sent $5 Canadian. Thank you very much. He said, "Greetings from the Ugopnik's Discord server. Congratulations for 100K. Hey, send my eternal love to that Discord server and Ugopnik especially. Thank you for the $5. And yeah, if you guys are unaware who Ugopnik is, he's an absolutely fantastic creator with absolutely great videos that you should check out if you have not. So please go do that. Let's see. Your thoughts on... What is this? Cossack song bangs. Yes, it does. Hold on. Let me read. Xan Me. There it is. $15. Thank you very much. Got to go, but have some of the surplus Walmart didn't steal from me. Also, do you have a favorite Iraqi folktale or one from another body of folklore? Thank you very much for $15. Do you have a favorite Iraqi folktale? No, but there's a wives' tale that is very weird. There's a Iraqi wives' tale that's basically if you have a copy of 1001 Nights in your home, then your family is destined to be like torn apart. Like people will just go their individual ways. It's a very strange wives' tale. But folklore, there's a lot, but I'm not a big fan of it. A lot of it, but most of it is within 1001 Nights. Yeah. Constant Blaze sent $20. Thank you very much. He said, "Local comrade dad last night make this contribution in his name. Rest in power, Derek. And Allahi wa ilayhi raji'un. May he rest in peace and may he enter into the blessings and mercy of his Lord. Amen." Alexei Serov sent $10. Thank you very much. He said, "What's your opinion on Stalin personally in his period in USSR? Two big questions to answer in depth. I know it would be great to see a video. Maybe I'll make a video on it one day, but I can give you a very quick what's it called answer. Stalin was pretty cool, but like Mao said, 70% right, 30% wrong. He made some mistakes, some very bad mistakes, especially with the deportation stuff. That's something I don't like, but that's the major bit of it. There's a bunch of other stuff, but it would be too long to cover. His period in the USSR was fairly good, especially the economic policies. It would, I believe there's even research done that shows that the stagnation era of the later Soviet Union was because they stepped away from Stalin era economic policies, but of course there was material reasons why they stepped away, so it gets very complicated. I'm sorry I can't give a deeper answer, but just generically, Stalin was a very complicated figure of a man, but I think truly in his heart he believed in the socialist cause, and he fought very hard for it, he was a man of contradiction like most people are, and he tried his best, I think. And his best was very good at some times and pretty crappy at other times. But yeah, 70% good, 30% bad. BJ Matt Sopk 0806, excuse me, said, "I have a couple of questions. Were you raised a socialist?" No, I was not, although I come from a lefty family. Were you born in America or Iraq? Iraq, Habibi. I've never been to the US. When did you move back to Iraq? I have not. When did you study to become a doctor? That is too personal of a question to answer. What's the... Wait, hold on. Somebody asked me something. Fuck. That was an interesting question. No. Where'd it go? Hold on. It's around. Fuck. Ah, fuck. Okay, I lost it. But somebody said, what's that demon with the 1 foot that, at night, he's talking about Tantan, which is a very stupid fucking, it's like, oh, if you have your slippers, you're not upside down in Iraq, then your mom's like, oh, the Tantan will get you, so don't do that. If you don't go to bed at, it's like a boogeyman, but for Iraqi kids. I don't know what to tell you. Have you ever tried drinking alcohol? Has there been a time in your life where you didn't practice your faith? Cold Willis asked. Yeah, but I was very young when I wasn't that practicing. I started practicing a bit more around when I was 14 years of age, I think. So yeah, so it's been a minute. But yeah, have I ever tried? I remember I've tasted it, but I've never really drank it, recreationally or otherwise. It's not never something that interested me personally. So yeah. Some person asked me if I smoke up. I don't. I don't partake in any drugs. Sorry to. I know there's some culture of that, but no. P asked me, "Are you voting tomorrow?" What do you think? What do you think? Honestly, voting booths are closed. There's fucking armed people everywhere. People are buying votes. Half the political establishment is boycotting elections. The other half is just gonna, it's rigged. What do you think, man? Hakim, what's your opinion? Well, it exists. So, let's see. Is your opinion which country? Oh, Nahid Ahmed. Nahid Ahmed, thank you for coming by. I didn't see you earlier. Hi, I love you, and I love that fact that you always jump in the comments and write silly stuff. But yeah, I definitely appreciate it. And I always look forward to uploading videos because then I refresh the page just to see until you come, and I'm like, okay, now the video is complete once you've commented. Is in your opinion, which country is in the DPRK do you think has the most revolutionary potential and why? None. Most of the time, mostly. Yeah, I'm sorry to say. I think maybe the US in a weird, paradoxical way, but that's not a lot of faith that I have. I'm sorry to say. Tatsuro Yamashita. Jet Thompson Davidson said, "Do I listen to Tatsuro Yamashita?" The name sounds familiar, but I don't think so. But the name does sound familiar. Deleted asked me, "Do you intend on visiting the US?" I mean, eventually, but I don't know if they'd let me in. Exteronix asked me, what is your advice to Marxists wanting to get started on YouTube? Just have good audio quality. Everything else will fall into place. Just have good audio quality. A series of lines asked me, what do you think about the Prague Spring? Read what Fidel Castro wrote on the Prague Spring. I am exactly one-to-one parallel with what Castro believed. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, answer these questions. Okay. Nathaniel McCune sent $5. Thank you very much. He said, what sources do you trust for news on international politics? That's difficult. I just read I read most mainstream sources, but I just read with a, what's it called? Discerning eye. I read between the lines. But yeah. I guess the best thing, though, is, oh my god, the Venezuelan one. See, my names are just completely fucking exiting my head. Telser is the one that I like the most, personally. But yeah, let's see. 3D Penguin sent $5. Thank you very much. He said, do you have any alternatives to reading heavy theory books for those who have attention disorders? It makes learning stuff harder. Yeah, this is what I say. Make small notes and do 5 pages a day or something. Otherwise, try maybe listening to audiobooks. I think these two sides are the best that you could try with, or at least begin with. But yeah, that's definitely up to you if you want to do it that way. Otherwise, I would say start very slowly. It doesn't matter if it takes you an entire month to get through 100 pages, but it's as long as you do. So yeah. Cold Weather Sucks asks, have you ever been to Iran, and what do you think about Farsi? I have not been to Iran, and I think Farsi is a nice language, especially for poetry. But also sometimes I think Arabic spoken with a Persian accent sounds very funny. Somebody said Paul Wetshot, and that made me laugh. So sorry, I didn't see who you did. Hakim, please, will we see the finished Bolshevik here? I don't know if he'll be around, but I do enjoy his videos, and I really like him. He's the inspiration that I started this video. North Sea Pirate says, is Iraq a safe country to visit? Not very, especially if you would really stand out. If you're Arab, yeah, sure, why not? But if you're white, then yeah, if you come to the north, maybe. If you come to Sulaimaniya or Erbil or something, then it'll be fine. But yeah, I would say if you want to get a Middle Eastern feel without coming to Iraq, you can go to Turkey, which is way safer. Especially if you would stand out a lot, I would say. Kamen Rider Class Struggles at $5. Thank you. He said, not trying to start drama, but you should know how Infrared says some disgusting things about Luna and EJ, including a something slur. I'm sorry, I don't know what a sexual slur? No? So I don't know what SN. I don't know what the words between that. I didn't know that. I think Luna briefly mentioned this to me, but I haven't looked into it at all. So yeah, but if that really is the case, then that's a real shame. That's disappointing to hear. Tyler Hill sent $7 Canadian. Thank you very much. He said, "What happens if the German Revolution of 1990 succeeded?" Also favorites historical counterfactual. I don't know what you mean by historical counterfactual, but if the German Revolution of 1990 succeeded, then maybe we would be living in a socialist world. It is a great crime that didn't that it was not successful. But also, you know, all things happen for a reason, right? The failure on the part of the German communists was multifaceted, and also the betrayal by social democrats was another aspect. It's very nuanced, sadly, as most things are. Black Venom asked, sent $5. Thank you very much. He said, I saw you comment on Paul Cox's video against unequal exchange world systems theory. Do you have a video response floating around somewhere to Paul Cockshot? I agreed with his unequal exchange. That video, he discusses between equivalent commodities, so like two of the same things, while the concept of unequal exchange, as I understand it, is between high fashion goods like or like you know, like a more heavy quote unquote capital compared to raw resources, and the unequal exchange between those. And that's something I asked him. I don't remember if he replied or not. But yeah, there's another super chat, but for some reason I can't read it. Yeah, it's low, but I can't read. I see the outline of it, but I can't read it on the list. So I'm sorry. I think when it will eventually scroll up, and I'll be able to read it. Sorry about that. Whoever may sent it. Okay, well, there's a lot of questions. Hold up. G said, congratulations, sending love from the Philippines. Thank you very much. I send love right back to the Philippines. You guys are very fun people, and I've heard that your mango tastes very good, and I hope to try it one day. Hold on. Fuck. The chat goes by so quickly that I can't fucking read it. Thoughts on Muawiyah? I don't think that's very relevant to this conversation, but there was one side that was correct in that, and that was the side of the progeny of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, in that entire endeavor. But yeah, congratulations. I really appreciate the work you do. Spencer Holmes wrote, thank you very much. Let's see. Thoughts on the current state of Egypt? This is... yeah, it's basically a dictatorship of Sisi. What can I say? It's a shame that it's that case, but that's just how these things end up, sadly. So yeah, and the biggest shame is that there's no organized left-wing movement within Egypt. Even though there's currently one that's being kind of built up, but it's still in the early phases. Excuse me. Let's see. Random Spider asked, thoughts on anarchism? I have the usual Marxist critiques of anarchism. That's why I'm a Marxist. If you're wondering, then just read Lenin's very quick notes on anarchism. So if you write Lenin anarchism, it'll come up on Marxists, the MIA, and then you'll be able to see what he said, and that's basically my same belief. Spartacus said, if you haven't turned on slow mode for chat, I don't know how to. I think it's on right now, because it says that slow mode is on. Yeah. It's not, it's just, but I don't know if it's, if I can make it even slower or not. So sorry about that. Lanoy Finchit said, congrats, Slow Dasher from Laos. Hey, nice to see a person from a socialist nation come in. Thank you for coming by, and thank you for the well wishes. Let's see. Sorry, there's a couple of questions. Durrani Loyalist wrote, communism is kufr. No, your understanding is very misplaced, Habibi. But that's the entire purpose of writing this book that I'm currently working on. So, what are your... Oh, so there's a very interesting question. No. Oh, man. Hakim, what are your opinions on Mao's China, and what books would you recommend on the topic? Fan Shen is a very good book. That's number one. Number two, there's a book on Maoist economics that you can look up, which is very good. Or Mao era policies, economic policies. It's very good. The East is Red Star over China, excuse me. The East is Red is a red opera, which is also good. You should check it out. Red Star over China is very good. It's by Edgar Snow, if I recall correctly. These are three books I think are absolute recommended reading. Yuven, who is a very who was another love of my life, said, how did you become so base? And by interacting with you, Habibi, that's how I became so. Somebody asked me if I think Jamaica would accept socialism. They had the Jewel movement, didn't they? Or was that Grenada? I may be mistaken, but I'm unsure. I'm not that familiar with the political realities that exist within Jamaica. So yeah. Somebody asked me something very interesting, that I want to answer. Oh, where is it? It flew by. I'm sorry. If you want to ask me a question, by the way, do the @Hakim thing because it kind of catches my eye. Otherwise, it just looks like a wall of text. I should have mentioned that earlier. QXY asked me thoughts on critical support for anti-Americans like China allied countries. Sorry for spamming. It's okay. I didn't see it earlier. Yeah, well, critical support should be critical, of course. But that means is that you should have some legitimate form of what's it called? You should have some legitimate form of fuck. Sorry, my English is completely failing me right now. How do you say this? It should be of a material basis. That's what I'm trying to say. The meaning of that is if you have critical support of a country and you want to actually support them, it should have a genuine material basis. But the critical part should equally be relevant. If they are doing something wrong, then you should be able to criticize them. You should be able to have a conversation on that. But also, there's a time and place for being critical of certain countries. Like, for example, if there was to be a war that breaks out, or to give you an example, the Soviet Union during the Civil War. Well, the Soviet Union was technically founded up until like the Civil War was almost over, but like the Bolshevik Revolution, that experiment, if you were to begin criticizing as they were during the Civil War, that's not the appropriate time to be criticizing, if that makes sense to you. Yeah, I think that's just generally my perspective on it. But if you're going to have material support for something, it should be of a genuine material basis. And critical support should also be legitimate, nuanced, detailed, and appropriately timed criticism. That's the way of saying it. Is Arab unity possible or desirable? Yes and yes, asked John Johnson. What is the best way to teach someone about communism? Talk about it in a very basic way so people understand what you mean. Don't use the word communism right out, and then eventually they'll understand, I think. Just kind of tie it to their direct experiences, because they definitely have experiences where they've been fucked by capitalism, and then slowly introduce basic concepts, and then eventually they'll understand themselves. You should just begin talking about it, though, I think. Leo asked me what are my thoughts on Hasanabe. I've never watched anything from him. I know very little about him, so I have no idea. I wish I could comment on that. Oh, now I can see it. Hold on. Is that where it is? Southern Comrade, he's the one who sent it. I'm so sorry. He sent this super chat, but I couldn't see it because it was like obscured. He sent $25. Thank you very much. He said, "Any hope for Tudeh party in Iran? My aunt was one of the comrades killed during the 1979 revolution." I did not know that you were a part Iranian, Habibi. But thank you for the super chat. I don't think so, personally. There is not much room for political diversity within Iran. But that being said, there is, if I remember correctly, there is a new, Mojad, how do you say this in English? Like there's new waves of radicalism that have been happening in especially amongst young people in Iran. And there's been like increased, at least from the people I know and the people who have been to these relevant areas, that there are some people, young people reading Marx and Lenin and whatnot. So there might be some future, but I'm unsure if it's particularly with the remnants of what would be the Tudeh party. But yeah, let's see. Your thoughts on formation of Pakistan? I mean, it was this is a very long conversation. I could recommend books instead, I would think. Thoughts on second thought, asks Nathaniel Devers. I love him. That's all you need to know. Yes. Do you think the U.S. has any chance of shifting the overtone window to the left or even the center, asks Oliver N. Do you think the U.S. is stuck with right-wingers? Mostly, yeah. As long as the media is owned and controlled by the ruling class, and nobody really fights against it, this is just the way it's going to be. And I think it's not going to shift, at least not much. A couple of people asked me on Chopper Trap House. I've never seen a single episode. I wouldn't know. I'm sorry. So sorry to disappoint. Yeah, let's see. Opinions on the IRA. The IRA is based. That's all you need to know. Ask Steph in the chat. Oh, sorry. IK asked. I will read the whatnot. No, there's the book is called, I think, The Great Migration. That details the formation and exactly what happened. But TLDR, it was a half necessary measure because there was a lot of anti-Muslim violence that happened, and also there was a popular Muslim drive for an independent nation during the partition. So it's like a mixture of quote-unquote the democratic will of the people that exist in those areas, as well as different material conditions that pushed, like the exacerbated ethnic and religious tensions that were stoked by the British really exploded after independence and whatnot. So yeah. Let's see. Thoughts on Nasserism and the 1952 Egyptian Revolution? Both good, but both didn't go far enough by recognizing class struggle and not going far enough with agrarian reform. I think that's the best way to word that, in my opinion. Favorite memory in YouTube? I don't really know. I'm not very, like, I don't interact much with other creators, so, Astra asked that, by the way. I don't interact much with other creators, so I don't, I think when I first put out the Jordan Peterson videos, because I was expecting them to blow up, and they really did, so that was fun, and reading the comments was fun, but that's about it. Let's see. Thoughts on Modi? He's a Hindu nationalist, so I'm not a fan of him. That's Hugh Nguyen. I know it's not pronounced Nguyen, but I think it's pronounced Nguyen. I don't remember. But so apologies for not pronouncing your name right. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Modi. Thoughts on Trotskyism? It's a dead branch of socialism. It always just existed because it was an antagonism, like it was antagonist to what the Soviets were doing. And nowadays it's a completely dead trend. They barely exist, and the few that exist are not taken seriously by anybody. Have I seen the Philosophy 2 video on Islamophobia? I have not. No. What can I say about ContraPoints? She's a liberal. She's always been a liberal. I don't know why people liked her in the first place. She made one good video against, like Nazi terminology, and then like just went full mask off pro-democrat bullshit. So yeah. Do you know the Einheitsfront song? Yes, and I also know the words to it, but I'm not gonna serenade you anymore with my horrible singing. Mohammed Mahad Farouk asked me, what are your thoughts on cryptocurrency? I'm not a fan. It's basically gambling. In a weird way. The technology that's underlying it is very impressive, but cryptocurrency as it exists now is just, it's bullshit. What's his name? The Gravel Institute made a good video on that, so you should watch that one. Thoughts on Ho Chi Minh? Asked, again, the same comrade, Hugh Nguyen. Apologies for mispronouncing your name. He's amazing. I love Ho Chi Minh. I love his writings as well. It's a shame that most of his writings have not been translated to English. So that's, yeah. F in the chat said, I've got to go. Love you. I love you too, Habibi. Have a good time. Did you read The Green Book by Gaddafi? Jailam asked me. If you would you recommend it? I would recommend it. It's very good. There's some iffy stuff about it, but generally it's a definitely good introduction, or not introduction, but foundation of some Arab socialism that can be developed. It's definitely a source that can be used. So I generally do recommend people read it if they want to. Let's see. Megatai sent $5. Thank you very much. He said, do you have a big butt besides Samir Amin and Zach Cope? Who else to read a modern-day political economy? Let's see. I can push quite a bit of weight on leg press, so I don't know if that lets you... That's a stupid question. Besides Samir Amin and Zach Cope, who would you recommend? Suwandi. Intan Suwandi. INTAN SUWANDI. They wrote Value Chains. That's a good one. The Patnaik, Patnaik brothers, they wrote another good book that was recently published by Monthly Review. If I remember correctly, they're another people that you should read on modern day political economy. John Smith, Imperialism in the 21st Century. That's another good book that's relevant. So yeah. Amadou asked me, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the revolution attempt in Oman in the 1960s. I'm planning to make a video on it eventually, so I'll leave it for then. It's the thing is telling me that you guys will YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Okay, I'm sorry about that if that's happening. Let me just check on fucking OBS. It's a garbage piece of software. Half the time it doesn't work. It should be fine. So yeah, I hope it's still fine. Hakim, some comments asked me, congrats on 100k. Also, I know you have partially answered this before, but what are your opinions on the anti-tanky Western left? What's your opinion on the GDR? GDR, pretty much positive. I have a positive outlook on them. They did very good for socialism generally, and they should be studied more, especially their failures. But the anti-tanky left is just an online phenomenon, doesn't really exist. Most of them are barely leftists. It's a real shame because they can't even define what a tanky is. Most of the time it's just anybody that disagrees with them. I've seen anarchists call other anarchists tankies. So it's the word has lost all meaning. And it's a real shame that the nuance of sophisticated Marxist discourse has been like lowered to this bullshit, where you just kind of throw a stupid term around and hope to shut down conversation. It's a real shame. But yeah. Thoughts on Richard Wolff and or democracy at work? Asked Mick Claw, excuse me. Yeah, he's pretty cool, but I wish he was more blatant about the revolution talk. He's clearly pro-revolution, but he just maybe he's just trying to hide his power level, and he's more like of a public figure, so I'm not really sure. But he's definitely cool. He's a cool guy, and I like his work, and he is a nice first step for radicalization for a lot of people and introduction to basic Marxist concepts. So he's doing good work generally. What is my next video about? Asked Meili. I was thinking of doing something on UBI, but I'm still not sure if I'm gonna do that. My voice is even getting sore. I've been talking so much. Fuck. Oh, somebody sent me a super chat. I didn't read it. Excuse me. Let me find it. Fuck. There it is. Mr. Pepperoni, sent 100 Mexican dollars. Isn't it called pesos? I may be wrong. I'm sorry. He said, can you talk about the limits of democratic centralism? Recently, I've seen too many formation of cliques and over-centralization in certain communist parties. Is that unavoidable? What do we do about it? It is not unavoidable. But there should be frequent changing out of leadership. There should be no age limit. Like, it's okay. A 22-year-old should be able to join the fucking Central Committee if they want to. It shouldn't be a completely ossified 78-year-olds and people, it shouldn't be like that. Leadership should be frequently switched out. They should be subject to democratic recall or instant recall. So basically, you vote if you want to recall them, and if the vote passes, then they're recalled, etc., etc. But limits of democratic centralism, it is one of the best systems for setting up a strong, centralized political organization that can actually get things done. Doesn't mean that it's the best way of organizing, but especially in times of revolution, it tends to be the only way that has been proven to work decently well. So that's my personal opinion on that. But as for limitations, yeah, the limitations are the ones you mentioned. It can be ossified, it can become rigid, it can be a clique of centralized power, which is bad. It should be only, a central committee should be basically held accountable to the constituency that elected it, etc., etc. There's a much longer conversation that can be had about this, for sure. What are my thoughts towards New Socialism? Ask SQOX. It is absolutely great. If you haven't read it, you should definitely do it. Johnson asked me what best Arabic accent. Hilarious. The funniest one is Egyptian, right? But otherwise, the most neutral, quote unquote neutral sounding, I think, is the Iraqi one. You can barely hear an accent when Iraqis speak English. It sounds softer. Like, they clearly don't sound native, but they don't sound like some weird movie like parody. I am getting tired, but I think we can go for a little bit longer. Excuse me, because I work today, and yeah, so I'm not as sharp and prim as I normally am. Wait, why did somebody say astaghfirullah? What happened? Okay, well, maybe that's good I didn't see it then. Manuel Campella sent 5 euros. Thank you very much. He said, thoughts on the southern European countries with a strong communist social tradition, especially 70s Portugal and 30s Spain. Very good, but it's a shame that they failed in mobilizing that into actual state power. And the reason that they failed is because they did not have an appropriate strategy for revolution. They still had a reformist wing. They still thought that just a quote-unquote restoration of quote-unquote democracy would be good. That's in the Portuguese case, for example. The Spanish case, they lost the Civil War. It's not their fault. Yeah, there's many mistakes that are made on all sides, but it's a shame that countries with such great socialist traditions ended up kind of being, well, like lukewarm social democrat now, or non-existent. So yeah. Will I ever do another case study of capitalism? Asked Skeptic Monkey. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know. It's a lot of fun, but it takes a while to do. It depends. It really depends. Carson Brown asked me, do you think communism will ever gain traction in the US, even though it's a negative connotation in American society? Well, it will have to if anything will change. It will have to for the United States to actually emerge as a... if you want to solve climate change or prevent the extinction of humanity, then the United States will have to. Let's see. The official name is Mexican peso. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. What is my power level in Jushi Necromancy? I'm a level 100 paladin. Let's see. Adam asked me if I wanted to go to a sleepover. I'd be honored. Um, Balsha Kovacevic asked me, any small thing that drives you irrationally angry or mad? Yeah, PragerU. I hate seeing anti-communist bullshit in movies and TV shows, especially when it's not warranted. Like you just kind of, it comes out of nowhere. I really don't like that shit. So yeah, that's definitely, there's a lot. Medical illiteracy really annoys me, especially when it's somebody who's very confident about how wrong they are. Like even despite how wrong they are, they're still very confident. Anti-vaxxers, definitely, shit like this. Medical illiteracy in general is very infuriating for me. But Thomas Howell asked me, have I ever watched Full Lines? I've heard so much about it, but I've never watched it. I should definitely give it a go. Picadon asked me what my favorite movie is. It's a movie called Delitto di Amore. It's a 70s movie that stars Sandrelli, and I don't remember the male actor's name, but it's it's a love story set on the backdrop of class struggle. Beautiful Italian film. One of my favorite movies of all time. I like Amélie, the French movie, as well, particularly for the music. I used to very enjoy playing the Jan Tiersen's music on piano a lot, so that too. Those are two movies that I really like, but there's a lot more. Let's see. Sorry, because there's some questions that are just so heavy, and I'm really not in the mood to talk about them. I'm sorry. Well, did somebody send a super chat? I missed it. If I did, no, I'm sorry. Hold on, I'll scroll up and see. Hold up. 1 second. Give me just a second. Megatai said $5. Thank you very much. He said, "Is it Sharia to marry anime girls? Why don't we have a unified theory of unequal exchange and unequal development? Why the fuck do you start?" Yes, it is. There is a zawaj shari'an that you can do for to marry anime girls. It is halal. This is an obvious joke for the uninitiated, but why don't we have a unified theory of unequal exchange and unequal development? That is exactly it. It's a crucial missing step in the development of Marxism. Immanuel Wallerstein and his world systems theory has kind of started to bridge that gap, but there's still a lot more work to do, and that's why I like the monthly review school of work on political economy nowadays, because they're really building up on this. That's why I like Zach Cope's work a lot, for example. So that's something I highly recommend. North Sea Pirate asked me, am I actually Lenin? Okay, there's so many good questions, but I need to start scrolling because then they're just going to disappear again. Jesus Rodriguez sent $2. Thank you very much. He said, thoughts on Luna and Hasfeud? No, I don't have any thoughts on it. I haven't read into it. But if, from what somebody has mentioned earlier, has said some sexist or racist things to Luna, then shame on him. He shouldn't do that. I've personally spoken with Luna. I do that occasional show that I have with her, and she's a very nice person and a great comrade, very educated, and I think she should be especially commended for the fact that she does all this in a language just like me, not in her native language. She does it in English, and I think even for her it becomes more difficult because I'm not sure if she's had as much English exposure as I have. So I really don't like when people pick on her, because she does such a good work. She's a very well read comrade, and she's so nice as a person too. So it's a real shame to see that. And the sexist and racist remarks are never fucking warranted. You can critique somebody without being an asshole. That's just my, and I think that should be the way to do it, because if you critique somebody properly, then they might actually accept the criticism. As we say, as the advice of our prophet is, you have to approach people with kindness, because otherwise they'll never listen. No matter how right whatever you say is, they'll never actually internalize it if you come with like this, arrogant asshole approach. Is Chussi pro-Marxist? I don't know what Chussi is, so thank you for that, Aiden Live. I'm sure it's something I'm going to regret having said. Thoughts on libertarian Marxism? I have a video on it about that I made. Those are my thoughts on it. Thoughts on Hoxha's Albania, not a good example of socialism. They had a good industrialization, but otherwise social policies were a nightmare, I think. I've spoken about this a lot more extensively with my talk with Paul Morin. Thoughts on Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso? I absolutely love Thomas Sankara, and I think that's such a shame what happened. He was a great friend, and even not a great friend of me. I mean, like he was a great friend to those around him, even to a point that when he knew he would be assassinated, he was like, I would rather like die than like turn my gun on somebody who's a friend. So he was an amazing human being. It's a shame that that happened. Do I believe in left unity? Asked JF Huang An. Not really, because it's unnecessary. Why would we want to unite with, for example, Social Democrats? It makes no sense. Have I read Gramsci's Prison Notebooks? I have, Chairman Bro asked. Do I have a favorite flag? The Cuban flag is very nice. The flag of Wales is pretty cool. The Iraqi flag, I've always liked personally. The Pan-Arab colors I generally enjoy. Palestine I like. The DPRK flag is very nice. I think even as simple as the Chinese flag is, the symbology behind it is very nice as well. There's a lot of flags that I like. Let's see. Okay, it's gonna jump down again, the chat again. I'm sorry, it skips over 100 questions, but that's just how it is. I just scroll all the fucking way up again. Wow, I missed a lot. Holy shit. Okay, I really need to get a move on with these questions. Fuck. Somebody sent Naji1 sent 4 pounds. Thank you very much. He said, what are your thoughts on the US exporting food to the USSR during the agricultural crisis? I think I briefly heard about this, but this happened because of the delinking of planning institutes within the USSR as a result of Khrushchev's policies. If there was still central planning and not 100 different individual planning bodies, then that wouldn't have happened. So it was a failure of administration, not a failure of socialism. More, you could say, a failure of revisionism. It can equally happen in a capitalist country that had planning. So this was less, or at least that's like my TLDR very quick answer. Thoughts on firearms in relation to socialism? Everybody should be armed. Favorite non-political work? I really like Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft. That's something me and the Finnish Bolshevik share, actually. He's my favorite author. One of my favorite authors. I have another favorite author, but that person will stay a secret for now. Let's see. Sir Perian, excuse me, sent $10. Thank you very much. Do you have any thoughts on trans liberation, specifically its relation to the socialist movement and how liberal movements can co-opt it? Much love from a trans comrade in the US. Congrats on 100K. Thank you so much. Do I have any thoughts on trans liberation? Well, it's definitely a thing that should happen. Trans people should be protected. They should be armed, and they should be acknowledged. And of course, they should have access to the things that they require. If it is counseling of any kind, if they would like, of course they should have medical, both psychiatric and physical access if they want it, and they should have legal protections in place. That's generally my idea. But when it comes to co-option, yeah, it really sucks that liberal movements love to co-opt these, because in the end they don't actually do anything that helps trans people, just like they don't really do anything that helps the LGBT community. They just kind of get some token rich gays or token rich trans people and try to use them as an image, rather than actually improving the conditions, like for example access to healthcare, employment, etc. for LGBT people. So that's just generally my opinion. If you have any more specific question other than that, then feel free just to write it down and I'll answer. Hi. Local and KVD informant asked, he said, I'm a 15-year-old Marxist. Well done. It's nice that you started reading so early. I'm dyslexic and can't read easily, but is there another way to consume theory? Audiobooks. If that helps you, then read with audiobooks. That will make it a lot easier for you, I think. I have a couple of friends who do that as well. It's 4:16 a.m. here in Australia, but I'm going to listen to conversation. I'm so sorry that it was Asaph Kitsune said that. I'm so sorry. There's no way that I can make it so that it's opportune for all people watching, unless I do it in the middle of the night, and I can't do that. I'm sorry, I have work. Rene Descartes, my lovely mod, who's been taking care of stuff, so thank you very much. He said, can we trust Putin? No, we can't. He's a... what's the word? Yeah, he's a member of the ruling class. He's an opportunist oligarch. He does not have any, he just wants to bring Russia back to the international influence of the USSR, not because he likes the USSR, but he wants to increase profits for him and his clique, as always. Confirm that you speak more languages other than Arabic and English. I do, but just the very fact that I say it is confirmation enough. I'm not going to tell you which or how. Haha. It's my stream. You can't do anything about it. I don't know what DST is, but Darth Vader asked, is it haram to DST? I don't know what DST is. Okay, there's so many fucking questions. Aiden sent $5. Thank you very much. thoughts I already answered on Hujjat Albania. Again, go look at the stream I did with Paul Moran if you're interested. Thoughts on Che? He is the love of my life. I really, really, really like him. I've read pretty much everything that exists to read about him, at least in English. He's a great figure and a very romantic figure, and somebody that I aspire to achieve even like an atom's worth of what he's achieved. I mean, I'm a doctor and he's a doctor, so the first step is done. Favorite historical figure, of course, our blessed prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's see. Somebody's like Lenin Takoy Maldo. Yes, Lenin is young again. Favorite lefty song? Oh man, I'm just gonna go with the Soviet anthem. There's so many, but yeah, if it would be anything, I think it would be Lenin's Young Again, because I listen to it so often, so frequently. It's such a banger. Jesus Rodriguez said $5. Thank you very much. He said wants to drape his vanguard on the rotten slave owner's flag. I don't know what that means, but okay. Thoughts on Hakim is Iraqi Lenin. That's high praise, actually. Thank you, Marxism, Arianism. Let's see. Oh my God, stop spamming certain questions, please. Luca or Lucha said $5. Thank you very much. He said thoughts on situation with Maoists in Nepal. Yeah, it was good, but the very fact that there's like two separate people's wars going and there's like several different parties, it gets very confusing and very difficult. But they already achieved power, and then they became like this weird quasi-democratic, not quasi-democratic, you know what I mean, like bourgeois democratic system that they run. It's a shame that they didn't go the way that Vietnam or Laos or other countries influenced by that particular strand of Marxism went. It's a shame that they went the social democratic route. Let's see. Okay, wow. I'm gonna have to read the super chats because they're starting to disappear. Sorry about that. Iago Rayo sent 20 reals. He said, "Professor, I'm not a professor, but here are my Rumble Latin American currencies." Humble. Okay, sorry. Thank you very much for your work. What are your thoughts on the Brazilian Communist Party? Thank you very much. My thoughts on the Brazilian Communist Party, to my knowledge, that they were pretty based back in the 50s. They did really good work. It was pronounced Luca, not Lucha. Okay, I'm so sorry. Xalos corrected me. Thank you. But I think nowadays they've become kind of... actually, I can't comment enough because the information I have is outdated. I've only read about them up to the point of the 60s and 70s in the dictatorship era. I haven't read too much about what they do now. So I'm sorry for having to not really qualify on that on the answer. $5 was sent by Aiden. Thank you very much. He said thoughts on Hassan. I think he means Hassan Piker. Again, I haven't watched much of his stuff. From what I know, I think he's just like a social democrat, which is a shame. I would rather he be much more radical. Kira Harris said $5. Thank you very much. He said, obviously the Afghanistan withdrawal was a massive foobar. Fuck up beyond any recognition. I don't know if that's what it stands for. How should Biden have dealt with it? He should have pulled out. They all should have pulled out. They should have never been there in the first place. Fuck the United States and fuck the imperialist war machine. But yeah, I don't care if it was a fuck up for the United States. Who cares? I'm glad that the U.S. government is losing money and people and resources. Nothing is better than seeing American military failures. Nothing brings joy to my heart more than that. Skeptic Monkey sent 25 of some currency that I don't recognize. Apologies. Thank you very much. He said thoughts on Communist Party gaining popularity in Russia. Control opposition or general movement. Control opposition, most definitely. They could have gotten power several times in the past 20 years, and with their little influence and support of United Russia and different things and their weird positions on social issues, it's a bit strange, I think. It's a real shame. Chloe Vitagliano, your name is beautiful. Chloe Vitagliano. My God, that is a gorgeous name. Sent £2. Thank you very much. Zia Kiwi sent 100 of something. Is that Danish kroner? I can't tell. Thank you very much. He said, congrats on 100k. Do you think Russia will have another revolution at some point? I think it is most likely that's going to happen. If it will happen not recently, if it will be soon, I can't comment on that, but the situation in Russia has gotten worse and worse year by year, especially now after the several economic crises that Russia has faced. So I'm hoping it does, but there needs to be more, of course, left-wing and communist recruitment recruitment and good party work being done. I think there's a new Communist Party, mostly led by young people, that's been started in Russia, and they're doing good work. So let's hope that they achieve what they want. John T814 sent $5. Thank you very much. He said, "Have you heard the Socialist Industrial Union program of the American socialist Daniel De Leon?" Yes, I have, and I mentioned it earlier. Just to repeat, if you're interested, read about or go watch the video about the limits of market socialism with Paul Cockshott. He discusses an idea of having syndicates, like a De Leonist idea of syndicates with trade unions and syndicates of enterprises within a market system, within transitioning to higher levels of socialism, like having low-level markets and in consumer goods, and then planning in every other field with syndicates of enterprises to counteract the influence of markets, this reproduction of capitalist activity and capitalist relations within society. Very, very interesting work, and I did not do justice or coherence to what he said, so just go check out his video. Mikla said, "My man knows what DKK is, mad respect." Was it Danish krona? Thank you very much. I didn't know. Cole Wessex, are you confident in seeing a socialist strike before you turn 100? Probably not. I shouldn't be pessimistic. Of course, Lenin said that he didn't think he would see a revolution within his lifetime, and then 2 years later he was leading it. I don't think I'm going to be leading an Iraqi revolution, but I really hope that it does happen within my lifetime. What do you think? Conrad Doge 343 asks, "What do you think about democratic Kampuchea?" Yeah, Pol Pot, not a good look. Never. It's not, definitely not. Yeah, I think we can leave it at that. Pol Pot was a horrible human being, and wasn't even a Marxist, by the way. But across, he never read Marx. I think he only read the manifesto, and even that he didn't read like entirely. His understanding of Marxism was absolute garbage, and the policies that they, just a negative experience all around. And I don't know why the MLMs tend to. There's a certain section of MLMs that really defend them. I don't get that. Yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say? My mind is slurring because, oh fuck. I'm speaking a lot of English after a day of not, so it gets tough after a while, excuse me. Jay Lum asks me, "Will you play Far Cry 6? No, but I've been seeing recommended videos and like the ads of it with the guy from Breaking Bad. But I don't think I will be playing it now. Cole West says, "Do you believe that Xi Jinping is dedicated to the socialist cause? Do you like him?" I think he is, personally. Do I like him? It doesn't matter if I like him or not. I like what he's been doing recently with the punishing billionaires and the stuff that happened with the housing company, the development company, and the ban on gamers. That was pretty cool. But yeah, he could be doing more. I really want to see more radicalism. But of course, I think the Chinese know better on how to run that country than we do. North Sea Pie asked, "Didn't Vietnam end his rule as well, meaning Pol Pot's rule?" Yes, it did. So the actually genuine Marxist Marxist-Leninist Vietnam was the one who ended the rule of that nonsense. Mile Roach said, "No apologies for speaking your second language. Thank you very much." I think you can hear the fatigue in my voice a bit, but I'm sorry. Sometimes I mumble. Sometimes it takes a second to get a word to come to the front of my head. So, yeah. Clizzard9 says, "What is your opinion on the end of direct U.S. military involvement in Iraq coming in December?" Sorry, I didn't mean to spam. It's not ending. This is just bullshit that they tell the people. American troops are staying in Iraq. Let's see. Chloe Vitiliano said, "Thank you, Hakim, for calling my name beautiful. I will call it beautiful again." Chloe Vitiliano is a gorgeous fucking name. Good on you, and good on your parents for naming you Chloe, or if you picked that name yourself, I'm unsure. But it goes really well. Yeah, very, very nice name. Evergrande was the company I was thinking of. Thank you for you guys keep me grounded and like when I fucking forget shit, you guys always say it outright. Thank you so much. Somebody asked me, what do I think of the YouTuber Hakim? Oh, he's okay. King Skylar said, "Hello, chat." I'm gonna say hello to you. Oh my god. Okay. Who do you think is a good underrated Marxist? Man, there's too many to choose. Those that I listed earlier about the monthly review school of political economy, the Patniak brothers and Zach Cope and John Smith and Intan Swandi, these are underrated Marxists. Their work is underrated. Paul Cockshott, for sure. My God, he's amazing. I love him. Of course, there are things you can criticize him on, but when I'm talking specifically about his economic work, very good. There's a couple of more. But these are the ones that I would mention. Adam asked me, have you seen the Professor Flowers video on decolonization and Vosh? I have not, and I intentionally will not see it because I know it's just it's gonna make me insane. It's gonna drive me crazy. I don't want to I'm just gonna get irrationally angry, because I know how that person particularly, talks, and how he likes to carry out the thing that he does. So yeah, I'm not gonna watch it for my own mental health. Let's see. Can we get a Communist Party tier list? Maybe one day. Do you think it's possible to achieve a relatively peaceful democratic revolution under certain circumstances? Asks Absalar. Yes, I think it would be possible, but unlikely. Yeah. Let's see. Have I heard of King Critical? I have not, no. Have you... At Death asked that, by the way. Sith Block asks, what are your thoughts on the recent socialist patriotism debates? They're tiring. Apparently, some people didn't like the stuff I said with Luna, but I don't even remember what I said at this point. I just said that you can be, like there's such a thing as left-wing nationalism, and it, like in the form of, for example, Vietnam was left-wing nationalist during the, or the Cubans had this as well. Like, I don't know why this is a controversial thing at all. I think it's controversial when you talk about patriotism for the United States. It's like being patriotic for Israel. It's a settler colonial state at the end of the day, so it's kind of difficult to build your patriotism upon oppression. But then there's like a way deeper conversation that can be had. Lettuce said, Dr. Hakim, what should I do about my chronic heartburn? Well, the obligatory, you should go and see a medical professional that's close to you, but have you tried PPIs at all? Of course, try not to eat at night, reduce your intake of food that's either cured or smoked or heavily seasoned. Try to not overeat, avoid fried foods. All this will help at first. You can try... I'm unsure. You might have a Helicobacter pylori infection, so you might need to go and do a test, an antigen test, either fecal or otherwise. They have several tests for it. And then afterwards, they'll probably put you on a PPI, proton pump inhibitor, omeprazole, for example, being the classic example. And that should sort out that issue. But first of all, you need to have heartburn because heartburn is a symptom, it's not a condition. Heartburn is a symptom of something else, which is gastric reflux, and that could usually gastric reflux happens because you have reduced muscle tone within the lower esophageal sphincter. So it depends on what issues you have, and also if you have ulcers or gastritis, that can also affect your heartburn. It's I'm not going to give medical advice right now, but go and see and get an appropriate diagnosis, and then they'll probably sort you out with most likely PPIs as a first what's called first line. But yeah, let's see. There's a couple of questions I already answered. What should you say to because PP reminds me of that video where Levi's like, hey Edwin, PP. Fucking so stupid. What would you say the biggest successes and mistakes of Stalin? Biggest successes was the industrialization of the USSR and defeating the Nazis and establishing a global socialist superpower. The biggest mistakes were deportations, not enough influence on, not influence, care given to light industry, and also heavy-handedness with the Comintern and controlling other countries and their communist experience and how they would carry it out. I think that was let's see. Hold up. What's your opinion of Mark Fisher? May he rest in peace. He was the guy who wrote Capitalist Realism. Very good writer. It's a shame he passed so soon. I have two questions. Do you have any intentions to make another channel for Arabic speaking people? I do eventually, yes. What are your thoughts on Pakistan's annexation of Balochistan? I'm not gonna get into that, I'm sorry. It's too late right here it's too late tonight for that sort of conversation. Proletarian Pizza sent $5, thank you very much. Said, should Mexico invade the US to help end imperialism? Yes, they should. It's an obvious joke. Mr. Shadowmass said, Hakim speaks fast and still thinks faster than he speaks. Good gosh. You know what's the weirdest thing? People always tell me I speak very fast. I don't think I speak very fast in English, but it's the inverse with Arabic. I speak very slowly when I speak Arabic. So I don't know what that is about my mind, but yeah, I think there's a lot more care to my the way I say words in Arabic than it is in English. I tend to slur sometimes because I speak so, Like I have to get the words out, you know, in the right order, and it's always fucking confusing. Abyss Wanker says, Hakim, are you a weeb? I wouldn't say I'm a weeb, but on occasion I watch some anime from time to time. It's rare nowadays, but back in the day, I like when I was in high school, for example, I used to watch a lot more, and that's very common for like Arabs and Iran. I think it's like there's 3 populations on Earth. It's Latinos, Arabs, and people like Southeast Asia people, Thai and Indonesian, stuff like that. In high school, everybody watches anime. I think that's just the... so that's why. Let's see. Thoughts on Brezhnev? He was okay. It's good. Comrade Doge343 said, hello, I'm a 15-year-old Finnish communist, and do you think the Communist Manifesto is overrated? Yes, I do. I think the Principles of Communism is a way better introductory piece. Sorry, there's gonna be weird noise because I'm trying to fucking fix the way I'm sitting. So that's my general opinion about that. What is your thoughts on the PKK? I'm not a fan of them, because mostly they become a nationalist, like Kurd nationalist group, and they are involved with some unsavory activities. They were kind of revolutionary in the like 70s and 80s, but they abandoned Marxism like 20 years ago now, so not exactly a group to uphold, I think. Lettuce asked me, best Space Toon show. Where is the question? Yeah, he said best Space Toon show. It would have to be El Qannas, which is Hunter x Hunter, for people who are unaware. It's I really liked Hunter x Hunter when I was a kid. I used to watch the Yu-Gi-Oh anime as well. Yeah, this kind of stuff. EOCAB asked me what kind of physician I am. This is the 3rd time answering this question. It's general. I'm in general medicine right now. I'm doing my residency. I haven't started a specialization placement yet. Oh, somebody asked me a good question. It just flew by. Siplak asked, what solutions do you think there would have been to the USSR stagnation problems in the 70s? Market reforms of the consumer goods sector, increased industrial efficiency, something else. Centralization of the planning institutes is number 1. Number 2, improving the GOS plan to incorporate electronic planning methods. That's number 2. Number 3, the OGAS system, and the, you know, like it would have, there's so many things that could have been done that weren't done, but I can't give one answer. It's very multifaceted, I would think, but most of it has to do with economic policies that would have been needed to change, specifically with planning. Basically keep planning and strengthen it. Stop, like, you know, just pulling it apart. Okay, it says no data now. Whoops. Is my internet? Oh no, okay, now it's back. All right, sorry, I may have cut out there for a second. In Abasi Udom said, any collabs coming up soon. Stay tuned, there's some very interesting things coming up. Let's see, have you watched the Karl Marx anime? Nathaniel Dever said, I've had it open in a tab for forever, but I haven't seen it. Thoughts on Bookchin? I'm not very positive. Boy asked that. What are your views? No, Steven Tremenio said, what are your views on you being so based? You're very kind, Habibi. Check my super chat. Wait, somebody said check my super chat. I can't. Hold up. Sorry. These things, like, because they disappear almost immediately for me, so I can't actually see them. Hold on. I don't remember who it was that said that. Okay, I completely lost you. I'm sorry. If you can just, like, at me in the chat right now and, like, just write Hakim like 5 times or something, then I'll know it's you and I can know who to look for. Solitaire said, I'm surprised this is still going. Yeah, it's 2 hours. I think I'll do it for like 10-15 more minutes and then I'll be done for the day. James Cope said, what your medical training was like? Oh, like, could I talk about how my medical training was like? It's like pretty much any what's it called, it's like any other medical education, I would assume. Do you have any specific question about that, or yeah. Khrushchev versus Gorbachev versus Dung. Not a big fan of most of them, I would say. Have I played Civilization? I have not, no. Alright. Okay, somebody wrote all caps. Oh, Megatai. Now I see you. Okay. Sorry, it doesn't come up for me, so yeah, I have to. It's so weird. Okay, now I can see your question. Megatai asked me, you sent $5. Thank you very much. May I have anime sex robots in the higher phase of socialism? I'm gonna ignore that question. What are your thoughts on veganism, aka animal liberation? It's good, but it's sometimes white people take it too far, and then they try to kind of be like, oh, you know, you barbaric third world brown people in that weird barbaric third world country, I don't like the way you consume animal products, and I can just tell them, go fuck yourself. But yeah, they have a general point in the fact that we consume too much meat generally across the earth, and farming practices are very unhealthy for both for humanity, for the earth, and for, of course, the animals it's happening to, etc., etc. Many positives to that, but I don't think veganism as a thing would ever become like the widespread. I don't think you'll ever eliminate consumption of animal products. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. DTAB27 sent $5. Thank you very much. He asked, hey Hakim, question. What are your thoughts on the Artsakh liberation movement and on the Armenians in general? You're talking about the enclave, right? With the what's it called? The conflict that happened between Armenia and Azerbaijan. I refrain from commenting on it at the point, but I think this is my general point. It's this: I would rather they just be in like a united Caucasian nation, federation, what have you, and because it's like workers killing other workers for what? For plots of land. It's sad. It's sad to see that people are killing people for something that means so little. And of course, there was an aggressor in that fight, and there was a person who was defending, or a side that was defending. But still, I would rather there be no war and a union between these people of a lot more in common than not. It's a real shame that it worked, that it happened that way. So yeah. Oh my god, let's see. Yeah, Joe Sidir sent $20. Thank you very much. He said, what were Lenin's most important theoretical contributions? Also, do you ever grow out the Lenin beard and stash? For the second question, yes, I did. When I was in high school, I had a Lenin beard and stash for quite a bit, actually. But it wasn't exactly like Lenin's. Lenin's beard didn't connect as well. So yeah. He didn't have the Arab genes, so but yeah, so yeah, for a little bit I did have it, but that was unintentional. It wasn't because Lenin had it. I had a what they call a seksuka. It's like a goatee kind of beard when I was in high school, and a friend of mine was like, yeah, you know, you look like an Arab Lenin. And I was like, oh well, thank you. I still have my hair though. Inshallah, I'll keep it for a little bit longer. What were Lenin's most important theoretical contributions? Incalculable. The concept of democratic centralism and vanguard parties, what is to be done, and how revolutions should be organized, especially revolutionary parties. His concept of the NEP was incredibly important. His contributions on imperialism, his criticism of left communism, his I can't even his work on the development of capitalism in Russia, which was very important, but you don't need to read it yourself because it's incredibly boring, and most of it has been adapted to his other works. I can't. Oh my god, fucking what's it called? State and the Revolution, one of the most important works, most important modern works. Yeah, that's correct English. Most important modern works. Yeah, I can't. There's so much. There's just so much. Do you think you could have succeeded if they had iPhone, North Sea Pirates? Yeah, but sorry, they didn't have iPhone, and it's Vuvuzela time. Let's see. Text Mondo, he sent us 300 times. Would you do a face reveal in the future? Probably not, no. But probably not, no. Hakim, favorite communist drip? I discussed this with you, Kopnik. It's either Fidel, I think, or most likely it's Tito. Tito is definitely it. Thoughts on Czechoslovakia? Pretty cool. But I don't know what you want to. Do you have a specific question on it? Have you and Yugopnik ever met? Asked Luca. This is the only thing you're gonna get. Conrad Doge 343 asked me how long I've been a Marxist. Almost a decade now, I think. Thoughts on the Sino-Soviet split? Asked Magenta Boy. Magenta Boy, excuse me. It is the single greatest mistake or failure of the left of the communist movement, worldwide international movement of the past century. It is the effects of I'm sure if the Sino-Soviet split didn't happen, then China would have been completely different. The USSR would have had a strong ally. The trade through Comic-Con and whatnot would have been so much probably Soviet Union wouldn't have collapsed. It would have been a completely different world. Such a shame. So yeah. Thoughts on Jacobin? Yeah, they're not a fan. Sometimes they have one good article and then 13 garbage ones. Which side was good in the Sino-Soviet split? It was technically China was more correct, I think. I stand a little bit with the Chinese side. But the Soviet Union wasn't particularly wrong. It was more political than anything else. Yeah, Khrushchev was bad, but Brezhnev tried to, like, you know, fix, like, they tried to mend relations afterwards, especially in, like, and they almost did, but the Chinese, like, really pushed on that, and it's such a shame that they did. Yeah. Renee Discard asked me, how did I first get into communism? I just started reading, man. My life kind of led me in that direction, where I was like, yeah, I wonder why the United States is destroying my country. Why are they imperialists, basically? I had this organic anti-imperialism ingrained within me as a member of the third world, and then eventually I started reading, and yeah, that's how it happened. Thoughts on Turkey and the treatment of the Kurdish people? Not very good. They shouldn't do it that way. Like, to say the least, it's not a good look. I don't know what more to say, honestly. Oh, somebody sent me another super chat that I didn't read. Ugly Burn 1900 said, "Are you married?" I am not, no. What would be the best socialist organization of the healthcare system? What Cuba is doing is pretty good. I can't imagine if they were unembargoed and had the money, like, that they deserve, what it would look like. But yeah, they're doing a pretty good job. The Green Dragon, Wrong Sun, excuse me, I probably mispronounced your name, said £5. Thank you very much. He said, Comrade, have you read the works of Lei Duan, a very underrated Marxist-Leninist theoretician? The name looks familiar, but I have not, no. So I'm going to keep this open in a new tab. I'm going to look into it later. If you have any particular works that you'd like to send my way, then let me know, and I'll definitely read it. Let's see. Oh, a Moroccan-Algerian rivalry, possible outcomes. You guys are brothers. We're all Arabs. Why? I don't understand why it's happening. It's such a pointless fucking conflict. So yeah, possible outcomes, not good for the working classes of either country. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm actually getting very tired now. Somebody asked me, Sajid asked me, how's work? Very tiring. Very, very tiring. I work 10, 12 plus hours, and it's, yeah. It takes its toll, definitely. Okay, I've had a really good time today. I think, I don't, do people have some, like, last questions they'd like to ask me? Or I can sign off. I'm really sorry for the, what's it called, the issues that happened at the very beginning of the stream, and how I, like, deleted one and had to restart it and shit like that. Streaming never fucking works for me. I'm sorry. I wish it did. It just doesn't. Sleepy Socialist 710 said $5. Thank you very much. I high five you right back. Lucky MG said congrats on 100k. Hakim, thank you very much. Again, I couldn't have done this without you guys, so thank you very much. Lethargy asked, how's your life right now? Tiring. Alhamdulillah, I can't complain. Alhamdulillah, as we say in Arabic. Hakim is a third world chauvinist. Yes. Not really. But there's a fundamental difference between the leftists of the third world and at least what I see of the online left in the first world. Yeah, it's not really, no. And I think that's a very reductionist view. I would love to hear my opinion on the Winter War. Sadly, it was probably necessary, but it was not handled very well, I think. Thoughts on Hezbollah? I mean, they do good work sometimes, but also their presence in Lebanon sometimes has its own issues. They have lots of political contradictions. Their support or their direct connection to Iran is a bit iffy, but they did good jobs in resisting Israel, and they are a definite line of defense against Israeli aggression. So they do good work sometimes, and other times not so much. Black Kami sent $5. Thank you very much. He said, "I love you, brother." It's like, I love you too. Somebody asked me, have I heard of something? Damn it. Piggy Don said, first kiss with you, Habibi. Don't be asking such personal questions. Thank you for the stream. It was great. Congratulations on 100k. You deserve it. You deserve 10 times that number. It's Ukizi sent that. Thank you very much. You guys are very nice. I had a really great time today. I'm sorry I didn't get to more questions. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question specifically. My voice is very, very tired right now, as you can probably hear. So I'm probably gonna start signing off now. But thank you very much. I love you all. And I mean, if you guys are down, I'll definitely probably do this. I could do this once a month if you guys really liked it that much. But yeah, again, yeah, thank you very much for all the love and support. I can't thank you guys enough about this. I've had such a nice journey here on YouTube and talking with people and just making these videos, and I hope to continue educating you guys, or not educating you guys, but making videos of educational content for you. Of course, I hope to keep meeting the expectations you have of me. So yeah, that's about it. I love you. Love you all. All right. I think somebody sent one last super chat, so I'll just read that out and then I'll sign off because I don't want to. I don't want to. Oh, there it is. Thanks for the stream. Thank you. That was sent by Dan in the Outback one. Thank you. All right. I'm signing off now. Have a great time, guys. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.